No, Facebook, fuck off. There you go.
Well,
Oh,
speaking of
hello,
copyright
Facebook. We
strikes,
love you.
fuck you, Zuckerberg. Oh shit.
Fucking
Speaking of copyright strikes, right now, I was going to tell you, I had gotten nailed with a copyright strike on my YouTube channel for using music that wasn't mine, even though the music I used said copyright free.
Oh, never,
That
never,
happens to
never.
me
Yeah.
all the damn time
So
when
it
I
has
use
happened to
public
me.
domain fucking music.
So they get
Never
the strike
used.
against me, right? And so, sorry, Justin, they get the strike against me, and I'm like, okay. So I'm like, what does this mean for a YouTube channel? Like, if I'm gonna get, I'm a rookie, so I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna get banned or something. But I submitted an appeal, and I'm like, hey, it says free music, it says copyright free music. I was like, but I will never use it again if the strike is lifted. A day later, the strike is lifted. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, there's these companies that prey on the stream YouTubers that use this open, this copyright free, royalty free bullshit. That's supposed to don't buy unless you get into a subscription site that you know. Like I wouldn't even trust that. Just pull music what you can off of the YouTube studio itself. It's the safest thing you can do because if you try to use this stuff from other sites, they're gonna get you every time.
Yeah, that's why
Every
my
fucking
friend,
time.
a friend of mine who's my producer, if you will, he just makes music on the side. So he gave me like 3 or 4 tracks that he let me use.
We need that for this damn show. We need to get somebody to come in and make some music up like that. I mean, I got LM
he's
but
done
not,
it.
even I'm not good.
He's down to do it for us. To actually talk to him about it. It's that he's busy. It's just he's just
Right.
busy. But
Well, if he wants like a shout out or he wants, to be a partner of the damn show or whatnot, if we make the music, if he does the music first, fuck, I'm for it. I don't care. Ross gets his vote for it. So yeah, second and done.
Hey, I'm getting a raise on Monday,
yes,
Hell yes.
so I can afford things again.
Hallelujah.
I can,
Ross,
I
you
can
can afford
start,
things like me.
I can start
bills.
buying more plastic crack.
I can't wait until the end of the year. Oh my god, it's gonna be so good because I get a raise on my stuff finally. Hallelujah. So that'll take the burden off just slightly. I'll be able to afford just a little bit of extra things. It's not much, but when you live on a budget, every extra little bit helps.
Helps a lot. Yeah.
I mean,
Honestly,
I only get
Well, it helps out like with Leo finally working at the job she has, making 16 something an hour.
yeah. And you may not know, I only make it. After I pay child support. But after that, I only make $835 a month.
Well, that's why we use my school money. When I get my school money, we pay rent usually through like the next 4 or 5 months, and get caught up on bills. So usually my school money takes care of our yearly stuff.
Well, I used all kinds of school money to take care of bills.
Yeah. Oh, speaking
I did
of
whenever
which,
I was in school. I thought University of Phoenix was a fucking scam.
speaking of bills, so we had a nice ugly surprise. So we were just going to extend our car payment out. We're allowed to do that with our bank. So like, hey, we just put our car payment 2 weeks out. We have the email confirming, okay, your payment will now be November 12th. Cool. They took the payment out of Leia's account today and overdrafted her.
Oh no!
And we called them like, look, we have the email. We don't have auto pay. And they just told us, yeah, there's nothing. We're not giving it back. Have a nice day. And we're like, wow. So we started making calls to other banks like, can you guys buy out our loan? So what our bank is going to do with Bank of America, like they asked us, are you formally disputing the charge? We're like, yes, we're disputing the charge. Bank of America's like, okay. They cut the charge. They're like, in 3 business days, it'll be off your account. But now what will happen is they will not allow this GM Financial to make payments on our account anymore, so they will not be able to withdraw.
I've heard they're scummy.
Yeah.
Oh, I've heard lots of complaints about them.
They're scummy, but they gave us the best rate on the car. So it's like they gave us a payment within our budget. They gave us a low APR. Instead of paying 5.5, 6 years, we're only paying off 4. But yeah,
I don't trust Bank of America.
They're probably going to try to repossess your car now. Just be warned.
The law says 90 days, so we will have another bank buy out the loan within 90 days, and we're like, screw you guys, we're out.
You should.
I'll be right back. I need to get hydration supplies.
Yes, you
Raul,
better. Especially
Raul, it's not Bank of America. Bank of America is helping us. The loan is through this place called GM Financial. They're the ones that screwed us over.
Yeah, they're like the scum of the earth, from what I hear.
Yeah, we
Oh,
thought they
by
were
the
great
way, hey
because at first.
Travis,
Oh, go ahead.
It's still weird.
It is very weird.
Travis didn't even see. I think he's surfing the internet.
Justin should jokingly join a dating site and just put that as the profile picture.
Oh,
Do it. Oh my! Come on, Travis, be more lively. You get to talk about lower decks. Finally, because
and Citation Ops
Citation, I guess.
with the sweaty dolphin.
Okay, are they beluga whales? I think they're beluga whales. They're not dolphins.
Well, beluga whales are dolphins.
So are orcas, but they're different species.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
Right.
They're part of the same family. So.
but
Did I
yeah, those are
not
belugas.
I did not. How do I not have?
It's all right, Travis. You're good, man. Sorry.
Road ending. It's all good.
It's the
Come on, Raina's in full furry gear.
And I know it, and I feel fine.
What are you trying to say, Greg?
Nothing.
I will have a group of furries storm this lobby if they think there's one furry hater in here.
Just send them all over to Greg's.
And this was the one person who was involuntarily subbed to Greg's channel on subbing.
That Raina was involuntarily sub because my friends decided to do a hype train last week, and then Raina got the random gifted sub in that hype train. Raina, how do you? So I kind of know your feelings on it, but what came out today? So Dave Chappelle is willing to meet and talk with the trans employees at Netflix about, I don't want to say resolution, but an understanding. Like, and the people are okay with it. Like their head representative, I guess is what they would call them, agreed to it. So like they're gonna meet. How do you feel about that? I'm kind of curious.
I think it's great. I was the first one to say I got in trouble for saying he shouldn't be canceled. Like Sun called my ass out on that, and I don't think she was getting what I was saying. But how I look at it is, I'm the first one to say that there's a lot of people in our community that attack first, and it's because of the life they've lived. A lot of them, that's all they've known is having to defend who they are.
Oh, Son's here.
And I feel like it's
hello, Son.
Hi, Son. I feel like they, I feel like it's great. I think that if they want to talk about trans issues, I think if Dave Chappelle wants to talk about them, I think that's great. And I think that going directly to the people is the best way to do it. I'm the first one to say I'd rather people be informed than talking out their ass and not be informed about it. I'm the first one to say it. Actually talk to trans people. That's like talk to trans people. That's what I have a problem with our government. They legislate us and they don't know a fucking one of us. So both administrations could literally kiss my ass.
There's a trans secretary, isn't there?
Yes, there is.
Yeah, cabinet
secretary. But what I'm saying is that these ones that are actually like grouping together to make laws and shit, like Texas, I'm glad I'm getting out of here. They had just talked about this fucking law they passed today. That's only going to make me getting my HRT even more harder now. So it's like I'm getting out like on a sinking ship. Because Texas wants to be its own fucking thing, and people can say like the left is bad, the right is bad. No, fucking, there's a lot of people that are just bad for the sake of being bad, regardless of what side they're on. Trans people can be bad, and I think it's just we got to be open-minded. Stop canceling people and just fucking talk to people. That's my 10 cents on it. I think it's good. I think any point where we can sit down and talk and not just attack on both sides, I think that's great.
Oh, there's something. So there's something I want to bring up to you guys since we're in pre-show, because I know we didn't have time for it. If I could have a couple minutes since we're pre-show.
Go for it.
So this actor Jamie Costa, if you guys haven't heard, produced a video and released on his YouTube called Robin Williams Test Footage. He did a 5-minute video where he was playing Robin Williams, playing Mork at the time when he found out John Belushi died.
I was going to mention that this week as well.
So I watched it, and my personal side of it is I was actually almost in tears. I've said this before. Robin Williams' death hit harder than most celebrity deaths ever will because he meant that much to people. He was a genuine human. He was very kind. He was understanding, and it was sad to lose him the way he did. But watching this, like when I heard the video start, I'm like, holy shit! I thought it was like not lip synced. I was like, okay, they're just playing a Robin Williams clip until they show the actor. No, it was this actor who looked, okay, I won't say looked, but who sounded and acted literally exactly like Robin Williams. His mannerisms, his facial expressions, his arms waving around, his manic acting, the way Robin Williams always moves around, he moves his arms and flails around. And playing Robin Williams playing Mork, he was spot on 100%. Like if you close your eyes and just listen to the video, you hear Robin Williams. And I absolutely love the video. Sorry,
I think Greg is completely spot on when he says that Robin Williams' death meant a lot more than celebrity deaths because he was so human and so kind to people as a human being. And he was, and unfortunately, treated so badly by his own family that all they were concerned about was the estate and money, and it was a terrible time for a lot of us.
And this video was amazing because it got leaked first. So what Jamie Costa did is he just went ahead and released it, and within like 24 hours, it was like 2 million views. And I commented on it saying I loved it, and I would hope that. And he's only got like 130,000 subscribers on YouTube. He's not that big. But he did this. He did the Robin Williams so beautifully perfect. I commented, was like, "Hey, I would love agreeing with everybody. Like, hey, if they ever do a biopic, you need to be Robin Williams. There's no question about it."
So he actually posted a statement in his community tab about this.
Yeah,
it says, "Hello everyone. The recent Robin test scene was meant for internal use only and to be reviewed at a more appropriate and private time by those who were close. After being informed of its leak, I attempted to get ahead of it and uploaded it here so as to be an honest source of its existence. Please be respectful of the family during this time. With love and respect, Jamie."
So when Jamie did that, of course, people didn't listen. So the bad part about this video was, from those of us who loved it, unfortunately started flooding Zelda Williams' Twitter and every social media Zelda Williams was on. They started flooding it. And I don't want to see people being vile, but it's just like, for her to still be accepting her father's death, this is unfortunately for her an uncomfortable reminder that her father is gone.
It was very insensitive.
I understand. At one point, I was like, hey, that's great. I'm glad she knows. But then when I saw what happened, I'm like, okay, now I feel terrible for liking this video because I didn't want her to be hurt by this. Her and her brother. It's like, oh man, that hurts me more now. And Jamie has since removed the video. Now, of course, there's still like another video on YouTube that somebody recorded and embedded it. But he has since removed the video. He released a statement saying, please, again, reiterating what Sun said, respect the family. And so, on one hand, I love the video because I said for 5 minutes, Jamie Costa gave us one of the world's greatest people back for 5 minutes. And at the same time, though, in that 5-minute video, what he intended to be good, unfortunately turned and made it miserable for Zelda and her brother, reminding that their father is dead.
No, he didn't do that. People did that.
No, yeah, that's what I mean. People did that. Like there was an unfortunate side of it that people.
And you shouldn't feel bad for liking that video. You should feel rage for all the people who decided that they had to be the one to share it with Robin Williams' family.
Yeah, I had no intention of like posting it to her timeline. I don't follow her personally, but it's like I wasn't gonna flood her timeline. So I just felt I was like, wow, it was really great to have Robin Williams back for 5 minutes. And like I said, I saw the ugly part where people were flooding her. I'm like, okay, now I see the ugly part and why he made that statement. But that's something I wanted to bring up because, like I said, Robin Williams is my favorite comedian of all time. I absolutely loved him. What he did for people behind the scenes, like he loved doing stuff where people he didn't want to have to tell people, yeah, I did this. He wanted to do it behind the scenes.
He was one of the biggest supporters when trans health had became in its early awakening. And honestly, I stand by that. The best stand-up I've ever seen, like out of anybody, was Robin Williams live from Broadway. Is like the best fucking stand-up you'll ever see. I still can watch it and just laugh my ass off to the point my ribs feel broken every time I see it.
And my favorite from his is his last one where that was Weapons of Self-Destruction after his heart surgery. Okay. That was a great one.
I have to do a quick little update, and I'll be right back.
But yeah, I loved it. And so Rumble is my favorite comedian. So it was great. And and Raina's right, big supporter of trans rights. He still holds the record for most USO tours by a celebrity, and it's because he would just show up. He didn't, the USOU, they want you to schedule. No, he would just show up to these random bases and be like, hey, everybody, how's it going? And give these troops their free and give free shows. Like, you have to pay for it. No, he'd like, screw that. I'm gonna go entertain the troops. So he still holds the record from, I believe, if I'm correct, he holds the record for most USO tours done by a celebrity comedian, which I think is great because he's like, I don't care if you know, I'm going to go support our troops. And then supporting trans rights and the way he, just like I said, overall great human being.
He was him and Steve Irwin. He was the realest he could be.
Yeah. Like him and Steve Irwin are still deaths that hurt today. And it's been over almost
Steve Irwin was a champion of environmental rights. I really miss him. His family has done well in his absence, but it's no Steve Irwin, sadly.
Oh man, his son though. Oh man, his son is so. It's scary that he's starting to sound so much like his dad now that he's an adult.
He has a lot to live up to. He does, but sometimes that long shadow creates a great human being. So I'm okay with it.
He does not have a lot to live up to because he's already doing it.
Yeah.
And he's been doing it for years.
And see, and Son's right. And I with him doing that though is not okay, not funny part. I misused that. The interesting part is Bindi had the most time with her dad. He didn't. He died when he was still very, very, like, I think not even 2 years old. So it's like, he just has these videos to go off what his sister tells him, to go off what his mother tells him. And out of all that, him watching videos from his dad and his mom and sister, we have Steve Irwin in a way back because his son is doing what he did beautifully. So, and same with Robin Williams. Like, I'm sure his kids are great. I just hope that in light of the Jamie Costa video, which was done with great intentions, unfortunately people turned it and, hurt her. And I hope that she is able to recover from that.
Actually, I watched a really great video today about, like my Trans Alliance, they do this like, they do like this company call thing that's like all the like studies and programs, and they have like someone come out on the video and like discuss like all the like, stuffs in psychology and stuff. And they were talking about weaponized toxicity, and they were talking about a lot about the problem is that the weaponized toxicity is on both sides because you have the people actually doing it, and then you have the people fighting it that are indirectly using toxicity to fight toxicity. And it was a really, really informative video, and I was just kind of thinking about it all because that's what I've been teaching the kids this week about there's a difference between making a platform and deplatforming, and I do blame a lot of the issues because they're so hardwired for that they're preemptively ready to attack, and I hurt for them so much. They need to be scrubbed of that mindset.
Are you okay, Justin? 1 second.
Kind of.
Wait, voice monitor. Oh, he's doing an update.
Yeah, it decides to update at the last possible second.
Windows wants to know your location, but I don't want to update now. It's not your choice.
Yeah, right. It's Windows.
You must do it now. Or
consume. Become part of the collective. Oh my God, Microsoft's the board with their updates. You will become part of the collective.
They want me to download. They want me to download 11. Later. Like, no way, man.
I don't want to. But our browser is faster. I don't care. Leave me alone. I don't
care. Leave me alone, guys. Stop harassing me.
I just want to use Firefox. Get away from me. I love that guilt trip they do when you get a new computer and you have to use Edge to download a different browser. It's like, wait, before you go. Please don't go. We're lonely here.
What is my purpose? You install Google Chrome. Oh my God.
Why?
Ross knows the memes that make me smile.
Okay. What did Son put
one more thing on that.
Oh my.
Robin Williams.
God damn it, Son.
What's Son do now?
What's done hasn't done.
On the Robin Williams topic, one more thing before we move on to our show. ABC has done a show called Superstar on a few other people, Kobe Bryant, Whitney Houston. Their latest episode is on Robin Williams. It aired on ABC, and I believe they said it's on Hulu. Available as of what's today? As of yesterday. But it's on Robin Williams. They claim never before seen footage in audio.
Cool.
About Robin Williams. So that's what they've produced, and I'm hoping to see it.
I will say the Kobe Bryant thing was pretty out of left field. I actually didn't believe when people had brought it up at first. I remember I was actually donating blood. And they were like, oh, yeah, by the way. And I was like, wait, what? No way.
Kobe was one of my favorite athletes. And I was like, when people started reporting, he was in a helicopter crash, I was like, what? And then, it was, that one was pretty bad.
It was unbelievable.
He was amazing. He was well on his way to becoming the next Jordan.
I never resonated with football down here in Texas. I played it for a little bit, surprisingly, but I just was never really big into it. But basketball, man, I fucking love basketball.
My dad, after years of being a baseball fan, suddenly converted into a basketball fan, and so he's there watching the Heat all the time and screaming for them. And I'm like, "What's wrong with you, man? You're 80."
I
have a midlife crisis now.
To show you how fucked up Facebook is, they just sent me a notification of whenever I scheduled the video to go live. That I did that at 8 o'clock this morning, and I just now got the notification that it was scheduled.
Wow!
Wow, God.
Facebook on top of all the issues, except
this is why I've always been wary of the cloud system. It's because shit like this seems to continuously happen. Notifications from everything get longer and longer and longer with fucking delay. Because of the cloud, it's supposed to be faster, isn't it?
I'm getting notifications.
Oh, they get longer, so you say.
I get notifications from the SuperGeeks group there from days ago. And they just pop up like they're brand new. Go click on it, like, oh, this is posted Saturday? Why am I just now telling me about this? I'm an ad fan. They should tell me immediately when someone posts. What the fuck, Facebook?
I remember that conversation I had with my mom where she was like, so it's saying it's in the cloud. What the hell is the cloud? What cloud? I'm like, Mom, it's in the cloud. I will show you. She's like, how is there a cloud in this? What does that have to do with anything? I'm like, oh, dear Lord.
I think there was a cartoon and Family Guy that was about it.
You know what's sad? That's probably also a discussion that happens on the Capitol whenever they try and interview a tech CEO.
You know what, Ross? That's how I felt too with that Nintendo Direct. It's like all Kingdom Hearts 3 or all the Kingdom Hearts games are coming to Switch. Oh yes, on cloud. What? They're like, how old? This is bullshit. Control and Resident Evil 7, I get it. But Kingdom Hearts 2, the Switch can't run Kingdom Hearts 2.
It's a big game.
I don't. It ran freaking Doom 2016.
Wait a minute. You want to see a big game? Go to get on the Xbox Game Pass and download Microsoft Flight Simulator. That is 200.
Oh God, that'll
gigabytes download. That is 268 gigabytes just for the game. And does not count the other 90 to 100 gigabytes of updates you have to do.
Fun fact about the Flight
Simulator. You better have more than a couple terabytes, yes.
Fun fact about the Flight Simulator, though, is that some airlines use Microsoft Flight Simulator on the Xbox to train their pilots before they hit the plane. That's how realistic it is. So they actually use a video game to train the pilots before they
this latest version of Flight Simulator is fucking awesome.
Well, it's a pretty well-known fact that Obama used to relax by playing Flight Simulator in the computer. But it was pretty well known when he flew, because the internet in the White House is famously unstable, kind of like mine, and he would crash the planes constantly. So they would go, oh God, it's the president flying, don't ride that one.
Oh, but speaking of Flight Simulators, Justin, you and I have to figure out how to stream Squadrons together.
Oh yes.
I have Squadrons too.
We got to do that. We got to do
wait,
it.
Wait a minute. Okay. Wait a minute. You have squadrons.
Yes.
Raul, do you have squadrons?
No plans to. No plans to.
We are playing Imperial, and I claim the TIE Defender every damn time.
I'm playing Rebels, and I'll claim the J-Wing, B-Wing.
I am a
you don't even know what wing you are.
TIE Fighter fan from back in the
Dude,
day.
I love TIE Fighters.
Yes.
TIE Fighter was a great series,
and I loved the TIE Defender so much.
The
it was
original
such a
TIE
fun
Fighter
fighter.
or TIE Interceptor?
Both.
What'd you say?
The fighter, like the original TIE Fighter, or the Interceptor?
No, the game TIE Fighter.
Oh,
yes.
The fighter simulator, which I also have on GOG.
TIE Fighter.
Did you seriously invite me to Star Wars Rogue Squadrons? I'm sorry, I didn't hear Final Fantasy in that sentence, so...
That's okay, we didn't hear you at all.
Yeah.
Greg, how are you married? How is that possible?
Yet anyway.
People get married in Vegas all the time, you know?
God.
Zing!
Hello.
I'm sure Leia can't wait for you to die so she could have that sweet Pokemon card collection.
Right.
And sell it.
It's just a life insurance policy she took out on him that he doesn't know about.
Basically.
Greg fell down the stairs. The world's an imperfect place. People fall all the time.
How did I know that the toaster flew into the tub when he was taking a bath? How did I know?
I mean, he likes to eat while taking a bath. You know,
Greg, he always used to love making jelly toast in the tub.
He wanted toast in the tub. I couldn't stop him, folks.
Actually, know what's fucked up, Raina? I put jelly on waffles, so you're close.
God damn it!
You're a communist.
Waffles.
I'm the furry in this group, and I'm calling you the degenerate here.
Wait. Why is that a bad thing? Why is that a bad thing? You put peanut butter on waffles, right?
No.
What?
Why?
You don't?
Yes, you do. You put peanut butter and syrup on waffles. Why wouldn't you put jelly on it too?
Oh Jesus!
Then you literally just have a PB&J sandwich.
I take blueberry waffles, so I take Eggo blueberry waffles, and I make a jelly sandwich out of them. So I'll put strawberry jelly on the blueberry waffles. And
I take the blueberry waffles and I make a sandwich out of them with mayo.
Mayo. Son, you are
she lost
degenerate.
Yep, there goes Justin.
Look, you grinning Justin away. That's so gross.
Don't knock it till you try it.
Welcome to Food Network
like mustard
SuperGeeks,
on
everyone.
watermelon, apparently.
This is going to give us more views than our geek shit. I promise you.
Gordon Ramsay's at his house right now having a stroke listening to this.
Gordon Ramsay
actually
failed chef.
All right, are we ready to get this started?
Dude said he was going to make pick-out and didn't even know how to make pick-out.
I think we're ready to go.
I think we should just cut to the show. Let's do the intro. Go. Oh, that's great.
I'm wondering if I should call Travis real quick and see if he's okay.
Yeah.
Let's pause for station. Get ready for a second. Check on him, make sure he's fine, and then we'll get ready to rumble here. Make sure all my settings are good.
One of the funniest things I've ever seen Gordon Ramsay do was the show Hot Ones on YouTube for their hot sauces.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
He did the show. He did the interview. And it was fucking hilarious. Like, he's just like, he takes lemon and lime juice, he just squirts the wings with it. He's like, fuck. The whole time.
Whoa.
And the funny part is, after he eats the final wing, where that's the hottest one, it burns you up. Then they get him like, hey, how do you make the perfect scrambled egg? He's like, I fucking hate you. He sits there, starts whipping up scrambled eggs in the middle of the interview.
I'll have to go see.
Here, but Raul, these right here, these are the three hottest sauces. These are the three of the hottest sauces on the planet. I've eaten all three of them.
You're a beast. You're a beast, Greg.
Oh, I'm not saying I didn't pay for it. But
yeah.
The videos
about 3 hours later, you're in the toilet hugging God. Oh my God!
I posted a video to my YouTube. I believe the year before last or last year. I did the challenge. I did all 10 wings, not in all the just up to this sauce, I think, but progressively hotter wings. I did all the sauces, and I get to the one called the bomb. That's where I start dying, and that's where people start laughing.
You know, out of all the things I missed, getting this straight, that is one of them. Being able to handle hot and spicy items, because you know you really can't do that.
Yeah, because it'll burn everything.
It'll burn. Oh, and I've tried, and it burns. It burns.
Well, thankfully,
everything.
I know how to beat that heat thanks to food theory. They've done for 2 years in a row. They've done an annual Beat the Heat challenge where they gather a bunch of stuff that people recommend them to try to soothe the heat, and it's anything that's cold, viscous, sweet, and I forget what the fourth category was. Do not, under any circumstances, attempt to use alcohol to soothe the heat.
No,
does not work.
Yeah, no. Or soda.
I don't know a lot, but I know don't use alcohol.
Don't use alcohol or soda.
Yeah, they tried vodka, and it did not go well.
Not food theory, but Charlize Theron did the challenge also. She was
acidic.
Eating acidic, yes.
Yes.
Soda.
But Charlize Theron did it, and she actually did a pro move, which actually shocked the guys on the show. She got, I don't know if it was brown rice. It was some type of rice. So when she got to the final wing, she had a couple spoonfuls of rice. She's like, yeah, I don't even feel it. It was hilarious. Like they're like, wow, that's a pro move.
Rice cakes work for that too.
Well, yeah,
I've heard the rice cakes thing. Yeah, that they just absorb everything.
Or crackers.
Right. It's the grain. It just
it's actually really funny. So Raul, I'll send you the link to my video on my YouTube so you can watch it and laugh your ass off.
Oh yeah.
I absolutely despise milk. Like I'd rather die than drink milk. Yeah, I'd rather die than drink milk. In my challenge, I am drinking milk. That's how hot the wings are.
You're like any ship. What's the term? Any port in a storm. You're like,
I'm eating bread. I'm drinking milk. I'm like, oh my god! You see my face start turning red a little bit. It's hilarious.
We ought to do a collaborative stream like that together sometime.
That'd be fun.
So down. I'm so down.
I'll get the wife to make it. She's definitely not going to eat it, but
yeah,
it'll be fun.
To get the sauces off of the website's called Heatiness. For the season lineup to get all 10 sauces is like $100, so it's fairly cheap.
Oh, maybe.
What, Justin? What's maybe? What are you doing?
You'll figure it out. I'm plotting a couple ideas. You know, the little fun little challenging thing. That might be something we are looking to doing more.
I'm down to do a Squadron stream sometime. I mean, that'd be great.
That sounds fun. I might get Squadrons.
I mean, I would love.
Sorry, Raul, if you can spare it, Squadrons, $40. It's a quick download, and it's
free right now on Epic.
It's also on Game Pass.
But Raul, that's the link to my video if you want to save that and watch it after the podcast. That's the link to my video.
I'm actually going to Epic to download what's it called? Squadrons.
It's so much fun. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing it again, and it's actually really not bad.
They said it was very good. I just missed it when it first came out, and I felt like it was hard to get into afterwards.
The two best purchases I've made on my Xbox, aside from Gears, because I love Gears, but the two best purchases was Tony Hawk Pro Skater Remastered 1 and 2 for $40, and Squadrons for $40. Those are my
Squadrons is crossplay, right?
Yes, it is. I think so.
Yeah, I believe so. Okay,
sweet. That's the thing, finding a game that's completely crossplay, like Call of Duty and all that stuff. I'm all down for that.
I was playing some Tony Hawk earlier today, and my kiddo loves watching me play Tony Hawk. He'll sit in the chair calm, watch while I play Tony Hawk. It's hilarious.
I tell you guys, though, we're spoiled this month for good games. I'm going to talk a little bit about it during my time.
I'm very much looking forward to Metroid Dread. I started playing. I started playing Super Metroid this week as a consolation till I can get it.
I thought you were playing Fusion.
No, Super Metroid.
Oh, okay.
I don't have a GBA to play Fusion on, unfortunately.
Sorry,
nor
Ross,
any ROMs.
I don't have a spare GBA to send you this time.
I do. I do have a retro console that can take GBA cartridges.
Wait, you don't have a ROM for that though? I might have one. Let me look. I have a whole
Actually,
folder of.
I can use the Game Boy player on Leia's GameCube. I can use the Game Boy player and just play games like that.
If I can get my hands on ROMs, I can plug it into the retro console.
So speaking of that, so there's a VTuber streamer in Japan called Korone, and she's been playing a bunch of like old Nintendo games.
Mm-hmm.
And she was playing this game called WarioWare Twisted, which is a Game Boy Advance game. But she didn't have a Game Boy Advance or any of the equipment to hook it up to her computer to stream it.
Yeah.
So she literally plugs it into the GameCube, the little GameCube port for Game Boy Advance games.
Yeah, I have that.
And because it's WarioWare Twisted, it's got a little gyroscope inside the cartridge.
Mm-hmm.
Because some of the mini games are motion controlled, so she's literally holding the entire fucking GameCube and moving it to play these games.
Yes,
it's hilarious.
Speaking of gaming like that, I found out one of my friends who's my top supporters on my Twitch. Her husband is a pretty good Twitch streamer. He's about to make partner, and he's on a very ambitious. He's on a very ambitious mission. He's at 3,300 followers. He's missing it. He's like Justin right now. He's missing like one viewer. He's at 74 average. He needs 75. But he's on an ambitious mission. He is going for all 399 N64 games at 100% completion.
Holy shit.
He is 50 games in. He is currently playing DK64.
That's a good one.
And I'm just like, I saw him finish Star Fox. He went into DK. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, did I miss the Zelda streams? He's like, no. He goes, I'm going to do Zelda because I haven't done them yet. I'm like, I am so there for the Zelda ones.
I thought about pulling on.
We have a topic about that for later tonight.
I can't wait for him to play Superman 64.
Oh, God. Oh, God. I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
No, why? Why would you do that, son? That's
Golden
a horrible thing to wait.
All right, it's almost 10:30. Let's get the show going.
Okay. We'll just have to wait for everybody.
They'll be back.
They'll be back. All right.
And we'll slip them on in.
Okay, so I'm going to drop them out since they're not here. And then we'll pull them back in as soon as they come back. And then I'll put you there and countdown.
Despite the best efforts of Raul's chosen patron, we're back! The Real SuperGeeks endures! Let me get a little more focus. Nope, wrong way. This thing's manual, so okay, they're much more clear. That's better. Welcome back to the Real SuperGeeks. My name is Ross. Live, love, play the eyebrows of Doom himself on this crisp and lovely new webcam, graciously gifted by our very own Greg. Thank you very much for that. Hope you all had a fantastic weekend ready for a wonderful set of roundtable discussions about all the things geek that we missed last week and a lot of fun stuff that we got this week. So, let's hear it from the rest of the hosts tonight. Once again, we got Cartoonified Justin. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great.
Tune-invigorated, I think, was the way to put it.
Yes, very, very tuned. I'm very in tune to things today. Yep.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit? That's what I was getting at. You're old enough for that. Come on.
Yes.
Hey, you're showing your age, Ross.
Well, you're the oldest one here, Al.
Hey. I'm only taking the place of Carlos temporarily.
Who is lost somewhere in the travels out on the West Coast.
Hey, he's living his best life right now.
Yes.
Returning once again, it's the dynamic duo, the hetero life mates, the best couple that we got. It's Travis and Lane.
Hey, everybody. I apologize if I am a little winded this week. I've had a bit of a stressful week. It's had its ups and downs. On Monday, I actually went and saw The Who, the Mongolian folk metal band, and they were absolutely brilliant. Easily one of the best concerts I have been to, and I've been to a lot. Outside that, I have been stressed at work and trying to shake a creative funk by writing things like little editorials and stuff. I don't know. Get the camera off me. I'm gonna just keep rambling.
Speaking of, we missed your recap last week and the week before. Do you have one for us this week?
Yeah, I just gotta finish writing it because, I'm almost done with it. But yeah.
All right. Well, we'll pad a little extra time for you. Raul, your god's power fades. What have you to say now, foul worshipper of...
Nothing. It will return in great strength. Grandfather's gift will always be with us.
If this is going over your heads, we're making a Warhammer 40k reference.
Yes, I'm sorry. You will soon all learn, thanks to Amazon's TV show, but the power of 40k lore, basically.
So how you doing this week, Raul?
I'm doing good. Playing a lot of games. A lot of games released this week, and Dune released. After years of waiting, Dune. Oh, it was so good.
Shut up.
We're looking forward to talking about it next week, once we all get a chance to see it.
Sure.
One other thing I forgot to say. I'm probably gonna get yelled at for this.
Uh-oh.
But I don't care.
He likes it.
Underneath this shirt is another shirt that Raina is just dying to find out what it is.
It's the Rito shirt.
It's a Rito shirt.
It's the Rito shirt, yeah.
How do you know?
Because Sean got one.
Because what?
Sean got
I
one.
can see the color from here.
Yeah, I know exactly what it is because I'm getting one. I know that
it's
shirt.
Disco or Ritos, and either way, Raina's gonna be. I want it.
I hate you for doing that. He does this thing where he's like, "Oh, you're not gonna believe what I got," then proceeds not to tell me what he got, and then listens to me go like, "Just tell me already! God damn it!"
Like, you should have heard her. She was like in tears this morning in like the most perfect way. Like, it was just like,
if you're into that, I'm okay with that. So
no,
Travis.
it was like she was laughing to the point where it was like producing tears, and it was just like, it was beautiful.
So wrong. Poor Raina.
Well, thank you, Raul. Thank you, Travis. And speaking of Our Lady, with sporting a lovely set of wolf ears tonight, Raina, how you doing tonight?
I am doing really good. I'm having a good week this week. Besides the chaos in my house that's going on like 99% of the time, I am all set to move to Colorado here shortly in a few months.
You'll be close to me, Raina.
Run.
I'm looking forward to getting out of this hellhole in Texas, and that was me scaring away the last of our Texas viewers.
Texas viewers.
This place is fucking atrocious, and I cannot wait to get out of it. But yes, I am free. Werewolf Unbound.
Alrighty. He is the voice of dissent, but also unending support. It's Greg. How you doing this week?
Doing really good. Having a great week so far. I actually just got off a Twitch stream where I had my first raid and a level 5 hype train, so I was really excited for that. I'm also excited, equally excited as Ross, that we're both going to see Dune in the coming days. I'm going tomorrow with my fiance. Ross will see it next week. Raul and Justin, there's a comment that you both need to see that Leia goes, actually, Leia directed this at Raul. She goes, I will fight you if you spoil the movie. Yeah, there you go.
Never will do it. Never will do it.
But looking forward to Dune. Looking forward to a great show. Sorry we missed you guys last week, but we're back.
Yeah, we all had to take a break because
we all needed a day.
We all needed it.
I had no voice.
Considering it was my first break from the show since I've started on the show over 2 years ago. The last time we took a break was
Bye, Raul. There comes internet.
When was the last time that I took?
I don't know. Technically
it was when we all took a break after George passed. I think
Justin,
that was the last time.
I will give you this. You have a consecutive streak still going for you, since you're the one who had to make the message and broadcast for a minute telling everybody we were out for the week. So your streak is still going, technically.
Technically. And I streamed at night. Oh, wait.
Yeah, it was not a good week for any of us, really. We all had something going on. I sounded like the unholy love child of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Mickey Rourke.
Which might have been fun.
That's a sexy romance time, Ross. What are you talking about?
No, it wasn't. It was absolutely terrible.
I did try to talk him into it, but at the end of the day, it would have just been me and maybe one other person. So it just was like, okay, let's just call it for the week, and we'll just do it next week. Take a weekend off. And it was actually a much needed break for all of us. So we all got to kind of relax, hang loose, and
I got to go to Nebraska and visit the zoo for a Ghoul and Glow event. The kiddo loved it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Though it was a pain trying to shepherd him with no voice to project.
Spooky time is great for kids. They love it.
Oh, he absolutely loves it. All right, and last but not least, she is Our Lady of the Lake. Son, how you doing this week, and where the hell are you?
Hi. Honestly, I don't know how to describe my week.
Oh no.
It's been mediocre, I guess. I mean, it's better than where I have been. Not been sick any this week, so that's good. We didn't have a show last week. Did I say that we talked about what we thought was the issue? Does anybody remember? Okay, anyways, if I'm repeating myself, okay, whatever.
About your meds?
We actually discovered what was making me sick, and it was Pepsi, of all things.
Oh, I thought that was a joke, son, not to be a joke.
No!
Oh, that's really Pepsi.
No. It's really Pepsi, and it's just Pepsi.
Oh, fuck.
It's just Pepsi. I can have Coke, I can have Sprite, I can have Mountain Dew. It is just fucking Pepsi.
Pepsi, they've changed all of the ingredients, and so even I don't like Pepsi anymore. So they might have changed something in it recently that's now making you sick.
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, I can't eat Oreos anymore, so.
Holy shit! That's
damn. I mean, I can't. Well, see, that's the thing. When Oreos changed their cream recipe to be fully kosher because they changed their recipe from lard to vegetable oil. Yeah, I can't eat Oreos anymore since then.
Maybe you should. Have you tried to knock off brands? Because I think they're still going the old way.
There's a reason I was so pissed off at Ross for getting a bag of a certain brand. Because I can't eat Oreos, and I can't get my hands on that brand.
Well, it's on Amazon. That's how I got it.
So the takeaway this week is the son can't handle her cream. I understand.
Damn, bro.
What is happening?
Not just any cream. I can't handle chocolate cream.
No.
Oh, racist.
Chocolate rain.
You know what?
We need to get some Barry White playing right now.
Son needs to just get in on it, though. If she's not going to be eating the Oreos, she needs to be getting in on this glorious Mew.
So here's
Pokemon.
So we discussed in the pre-show how I'm even worse than Greg when it comes to my food choices. So this will sound like absolutely nothing but normal disgusting. I do eat Oreos. I literally separate them and take the cream out and just eat the fucking cookies.
You're a monster.
Well, the cookies are good though.
You're a monster. That's right. I was thinking the same thing, Greg.
I mean,
You don't know how I didn't say. I'm sorry. Hold on. You're a monster.
I don't even know who
well,
you are anymore.
hello, I am a Zora, so I mean,
Zora's
most people would consider me a
monster sushi. It's hard to tell.
I mean, does anybody remember the Zora bearing when you put on the Zora mask in Majora's Mask and you get the fangs?
Okay. Yeah,
that's kind of terrifying. So
and
where am I
at the same time? It's really weird.
So yes, where is Sun?
So where am I this week? Well, I decided I'd take a trip to Project AHO, and I'm in the Dwemer Orrery.
All right.
Hey, that looks like my kind of lair.
Yeah.
Speaking of fangs,
Very edgy, son, this week.
Yeah, and a bit metallic.
Yeah, well, true.
metallic cub.
You also might want to check your mouth for blood, though. I do bite.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Glad to have you all back once again. Let's roll into it. Travis, are you ready?
I wanted to share links first because I haven't gotten a chance to share. So if you guys want to do a quick 5-minute chat about anything at all,
we want to chat about Lower Decks, Travis.
Well, while we wait on Travis to finish
You're terrible, Greg.
we can bring up the fact that Robert Beltran is coming to Star Trek Prodigy, which premieres
As
next
Captain Chakotay.
which is
Maybe
straight
they'll
from
actually
the
get some
novels.
real characterization this time around.
Actually, you know what's funny? With Lower Decks did this with Tom Paris a little bit good too. I am not going to be surprised when Chakotay comes in Prodigy, and I'm going to say maybe for like 1, maybe 2 episodes. It's going to be like why the Protostars is there. Chakotay is going to have more development and growth in 1 episode of Prodigy than he did in 7 seasons of Voyager. I'm calling it. I hope, for the love of God, though, they can't do one thing though with a Prodigy show. Do not bring up 7 of 9.
So, why is everybody acting like this is like brand fucking new news?
Because it was actually confirmed.
It was just rumored
by the
before.
actor.
It was rumored
Yeah, it was
until
only
the
rumored.
con that they confirmed that Chakotay is back.
New York Comic Con.
It wasn't even a rumor. Beltran talked about it like fucking months ago.
Yeah, but it was actually confirmed.
Anyway.
But he's literally the actor.
Yeah, but he didn't say what show he was on. Well, everybody thought it might have been Lower Decks. They didn't say it was Prodigy.
With the way Lower Decks is bringing back, sorry, Brandon. With the way Lower Decks is bringing back legacy characters, that would have made sense for everybody to assume Lower Decks.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they're gonna do the Bad Batch approach, like with what they did with Rex.
Okay.
Where he's gonna have like that one moment to shine, like that 1 or 2 episodes where he's very plot heavy, and then it's just kind of gonna be like a reference point for them to go back to. I do feel like a lot of shows are doing.
My work is done here.
I have a feeling. I have a feeling he's. Sorry, just damn it. I'm sorry. I'm interrupting you. I have a feeling you had to have been in charge of like the Protostar program or something. Like it's his
Well,
baby.
in the novels, he was Captain Voyager, so maybe.
Okay. Speaking of novels,
the
capstone for the, I think it's 9 years? No, more than that. How long has it been since Enterprise has been off the air?
2005.
Yeah.
So
2005, so 16 years.
So the capstone of the last 16 years of novel continuity is coming to the end with the 3-part Coda series. The first book is out. I'm going to be listening to it soon, and it is a grand send-off to everything that Dayton Ward, Kevin Dillmore, dang it, Destiny, David Mack, and a host of other authors have put together. In the words of John Van Sitters, we gave you guys enough rope to hang yourselves, and you wove an elegant tapestry.
Stupid question.
In which Dayton has been on this podcast a few times before, so we might see about trying to get him on to talk about the book once we've all had a chance.
That might be fun. Yeah, the first book is out on audiobooks. Yes.
Okay, cool.
With the other two coming shortly.
I don't read a lot of books, but I've actually been really looking forward to this series, so I'm gonna.
I have every Star Trek book ever.
It is unfortunately an end to that continuity and all of the stories that have come. And it is resetting the novel continuity to come into line with what is being produced now.
In Travis's strip.
There it is, Raina.
There it is.
Oh, Travis nipple, everyone. Very
Raina's not happy.
So, and if we're giving Travis a little time, just my thoughts on it. I think I like that we're giving it an end rather than just saying, okay, this is the cutoff. It's no longer canon. It's Legends now, and it's in its own.
Well, until that trilogy came along, I mean, there's no real continuity in that book verse. But they started something a while back, and it really grew everything. They brought back Cisco. They destroyed Deep Space Nine. I hate to do Deep Space Nine, by the way. I never liked that design.
But
it looks
you know
horrible.
what we got from it that is now in canon? We got the Titan.
And the Aventine.
Titan.
The Aventine hasn't been reintroduced into canon yet.
No.
But it was introduced in the books.
The best book series they brought out for Star Trek is Rihanna by Duane.
Rihansu, yes.
I am actually.
While we're waiting for Travis, actually, sorry, Ron. I want to bring one thing. John Delancey is a new grandpa.
Oh yes, that's right.
He is a new grandpa. He said, "I have a little Q ready for mischief." So John Delancey is a proud new grandpa.
Good.
God help us all.
Good to see life carrying on.
Alrighty, right.
By the
Travis,
way, Ross,
are you ready?
Thank you.
Before we go on, I just wanted to say that the Coda trilogy that they're putting out,
yes,
it's actually making me more curious to potentially read the books. I know that there's a lot of them out there. I actually own the Destiny trilogy, and I started it and just kind of fell off because I had things going on. But it's nice to know that the series is getting some closure in that sense instead of just, getting like, oh, well, whatever, like that kind of thing. So
it stretches back into TOS with Vanguard, which I hope we get some kind of adaptation in the future. It was so good. And Typhon Pact was probably one of my favorite TNG.
Typhon Pact,
I'm about to break you guys. I'm going to say something positive about Lower Decks. One thing Lower Decks has done really well that I think Mandalorian does well too. They both do this the same way. They're bringing what is not canon from the novels into the show and making it canon. We had Captain Shelby. We have Captain Gomez. Tom Paris should be like Lieutenant Commander by now. But anyway, it's like they're making novels canon. They're saying, okay, you don't want to make these canon, so we're doing it. So Lower Decks is doing a good job of making stories we wanted into canon the way Mandalorian is doing. Like, okay, these happen in Star Wars novels. Guess what? We're putting it into the damn show now.
That's because Lower Decks has the freedom to be able to do that sort of thing.
Right.
It's easier to produce something for animation to create the likeness of a character, but not have that actor or actress show up, like with Shelby.
But like how they got Captain Gomez, the actual actress to play her, minus third boob. Ooh,
she never had a third boob.
Total Recall.
Total Recall, she did.
Yeah. Okay.
But anyway, that's the positive thing about Lower Decks is that they're doing what Mandalorian did. Is that they're like, okay, you don't want to acknowledge novels. Mandalorian, Boba Fett's alive. Star Trek, here's Captain Gomez. And for the record, before Travis started, one more thing. I'm waiting for Eagle Moss to give me the Archimedes. I want that model.
All right, Travis, you look like you're chomping at the bit. Are you ready?
Sure, let's do this.
Let's hear it.
Start.
Wait. First. Justin, spoiler.
Yes.
Yeah, might as well.
Yes, because we're all spoiled around here.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Take it away, Travis.
Might need some more tea here soon. This week on Subverted Lower Deck Expectations, It's Captain Freeman Day, and the Cerritos is getting ready to give a helping hand to Captain Sonia Gomez of the USS Archimedes as they move forward with first contact of the Leperians. Hey, remember Gomez, that ensign who appeared in 2 episodes of TNG, spilled some hot cocoa on Picard when she wasn't allowed to have a drink near the computer in engineering and was never seen again after season 2? She's a captain now. And she's the captain of potentially my new favorite canonical ship class of the franchise. A 24th century revamp of the Excelsior class. 2 thumbs up here. I don't care if you think the Excelsior class sucks, Jason Kovalik. Your opinion is bad and you should feel bad.
I agree with Travis.
Anyway, where was I? Right, the first contact with the fish people. Another big happening is that after this mission with the Archimedes is Carol Freeman's getting a promotion. If you got that reference, you watched some shitty cartoons as a child. Accept it. She's getting a better ship, a better gig, and Mariner overhears this and is like, what? Not on my watch. She pulls a me and spoils the news to the senior officers. They all get angry and sad that Freeman's going to be leaving them. Freeman is all like, why would you do that to Mariner? And she was all like, because I love you and I'm angry at you and I don't want you to leave. And all of a sudden, a red alarm interrupts them, and because of the sun of the planet that they're going to has this flare, and there's this, it's engulfing this planetoid that explodes and does all this science babble stuff. Then a wave of shit hits the Archimedes, and it goes into this blackout, and the first officer of the Archimedes, Commander Hermes, is like, we're headed straight for the planet. We're doomed. The Cerritos just can't go into this field of crazy debris because science babble reasons. They come up with a last-minute plan to give new meaning to the phrase starship porn, and they strip the outer hull of the ship to get to the Archimedes because this field of debris will not affect the inner hull of the Cerritos. So they work around the clock, racing the doomsday clock, and manage to get all the way down to one final panel, which can only be released from that one place I've been dying to see. While all this is happening, Rutherford is having trouble with his implant as the storage is maxed out due to him being very cautious with his backup memories, but he must delete them or the problems will only get worse. He deletes the backup memories at the risk of forgetting about Tendi, but at the risk of potentially never making a new memory with her, he makes the sacrifice. And he comes upon a weird memory that he doesn't recognize. Wonder what that's all about. Probably nothing important. The episode never touches on it again.
It's not important.
Yet.
Stop the sound effect, please. Not tonight. We go into Cetacean Ops. Mariner gets angry about her mother. Tendi snaps back, and Tendi snaps some sense into her and a couple of beluga whales bicker with one another, and they further cement my headcanon that Sequest DSV Season 1 takes place in the Star Trek universe.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. Anyway, Boimler goes to release the panel. Ransom feels the pulse of his joystick, and Boimler almost drinks too much water, and the Cerrito saves the Archimedes. Gomez repairs the ship and lets Freeman experience her very first contact, which is a heartwarming moment. And then Freeman gets super drunk because they're a very welcoming culture, and she's just trying to blend in. Everyone's all happy for her, and they're like, oh, you deserve this promotion. And she's like, oh, I'm going to turn it down because I never knew what I had here, so I'm going to stay here. She gets called to her conference room. She's like, hey, I'm turning down my transfer. And they're like, no, you're not. You're under arrest for the destruction of Pakled Planet. And Freeman's like, what? You mean the Paklids are actually a part of this finale? And the commander's like, yeah, the planet got blowed up. We know you did it. You're under arrest. And everyone's like, no, she didn't. We're going to kill you. And Freeman's like, I didn't want to I don't want to fight this. We have the truth on our side. We're gonna I don't want the crew to find out. And they are about to leave, and the entire crew is lined up like, "Hey, goodbye, Captain." What? And Freeman's paraded past as she's handcuffed, and it's very sad. And she gets taken off the Cerritos, and as the crew watches this Nova class warp off into the distance, they all lament that Captain Freeman Day has been canceled. See you next season.
Thank you, Travis. All right. There's a lot to unpack about this finale. First off, let's talk about the things that we predicted that came true. We saw cetacean ops. What else was there?
Not Boimer versus Boimer.
We didn't get BVB this time.
I'm actually kind of happy for that. There's a reason why I said subverted lowered expectations. This finale, we were all predicting what was going to happen and everything, and personally I kind of like it when a show pulls the rug out from under you, and it delivered a very solid episode in a way that while I do believe that this comparison is very it's reaching. This is a comparison I've heard people making that is just, I cannot fathom why they're doing it, but I'm seeing that people comparing this cliffhanger to the best of both worlds, and I'm just thinking okay, take a step back, because I'm not going to say that this cliffhanger is bad, because it's not. It's very good, but I mean, to put it on the same level as the best of both worlds, I believe is a bit of an overstatement. That said, I do believe that this cliffhanger will do what the best of both worlds did for the next generation. It is getting more and more people talking about this show in a good way. I'm seeing far less people saying, "Oh, Star Trek, Rick and Morty, I don't like it," and far more people saying, "Oh my God, that cliffhanger! What's gonna happen next season? I gotta know." And so, I gotta give credit to that. So I gotta give props for that. But I will talk more about that and more about this episode shortly.
All right, predictions that came true, predictions that didn't. Justin.
Let's see here. Cliffhanger for one. I think we all pretty much called that it was going to end on a cliffhanger, but we didn't quite get the boiler that we were expecting. Pretty much. Yeah, I was very happy with it. Perfect. They couldn't have ended it better. A little pissed, and we don't know when the next season's going to be right off the bat. But
they're recording lines for it.
Yeah, so it shouldn't be too long. I would say probably next year.
Turnaround for Lower Decks seems to be very quick, which is good. Which is very good.
I didn't see Badgie. Sad face.
No Badgie.
I thought maybe they were going to try to do another cinema type thing like they did for the last season with Mariner, but I'm really glad they went the route that they did. It wasn't overly campy. It had some good stuff in it. A couple of stuff like the sweaty dolphin thing, but overall,
those are beluga.
I was pleased.
Beluga whales.
Beluga whales, guys.
Beluga whales, but
your marine mammals correct.
I gotta how about we talk about some of the best moments? For me, it's got to be Billups's eruption.
That was brilliant.
That was so unexpected. He's been so soft-spoken throughout the entire series. Suddenly just a stream of profanities that would make the Doctor blush. Or proud. Probably proud.
Wait for it. Hold on. Justin's going to have to play something on the screen. I think we're all in agreement with Billups.
Wow.
I loved his outburst. He was I saw the outburst I like this guy.
That was a Ta'ana level outburst.
There it is.
If you want, I believe one of the absolute best things about this episode was actually Captain Sonia Gomez. And I'm going to go out and say, I'm going to make this bold claim right now. I believe that this is the absolute best legacy character that they have played with. This is the true spirit of Lower Decks. Sonia Gomez was someone that none of us even thought about after season 2 of The Next Generation. None of us were saying, you know who I want to see brought back in Lower Decks? Fucking Sonia Gomez, that one person who appeared in 2 episodes of TNG in a season that wasn't all that great.
And spilled hot chocolate all over Captain
on
Picard.
Patrick Stewart.
Which they called back to.
Yeah,
Yes,
like
they did. It was a really good callback there. Like, I've done far more intimidating things in front of far more intimidating captains, or however she said it. But like, I mean, like, I know that a lot of people like in the finale of season 1 were losing their shit over Riker and the Titan and everything. And I mean, that was great and everything. But like, seeing Sonia Gomez, like an actual Lower Decker from The Next Generation, now seen here having risen through the ranks and is captaining a gorgeous starship. Like,
that ship was fucking awesome, by the way.
I am a huge fan of the Excelsior class. That was one of my first favorite starships of Star Trek. I have give me a brief minute here.
Travis is going to show off his model.
Oh no!
Are we going to see more Travis nipple? That's all I care about.
I have. Ow.
Wait for it.
Sorry,
there it is.
I had to stand up. Like, I built this by hand. This is the Enterprise B. This was the ship that really got, like, this was what made me love Star Trek as a kid. Like, in the ways that I did. Like, I always just loved this thing. And so seeing a 24th century, like, revamped version of the Excelsior class, which is often dumped on by the likes of Scotty and people like, oh, what a bucket of bullets. Fuck you, Scotty. Like, it's like seeing her captaining that ship, like becoming just from an ensign to a lower decker to fucking captain of that amazing ship that is more gorgeous than the Enterprise. Like,
whoa,
fight me on that. Like, fight me.
Whoa.
Like, I absolutely just think it is a brilliant way to showcase like a legacy character. Like, yes, I loved seeing Riker and Troy of last season, but like, Lower Decks is about the little guys, and so seeing someone who was forgotten about back in the day now front and center of a starship and doing her thing, not just imitating Picard, not just becoming a Janeway clone. She's her own captain. I absolutely loved it, and I really, really hope that we see more. I'm hoping that we will see more familiar characters. Like, I still hope we see Captain Ezri Dax in the Aventine. I still hope that we see like I wrote out an entire list the other day of characters I personally hope I see, and none of them were really like one-offs because like they're not really in the back of my mind so much or in front of my mind so much because like a lot of these characters we don't really think about them, and so I'd love to see who they bring in next. Really surprise us, like maybe one of the like one of those veterans from the DS9 episode Siege at AR 558, like one of those soldiers maybe, or like some like one of the character, like, oh my god, bring in Tom Morello again. Bring in Tom Morello from Voyager. I want to see where the hell he's at. He is a true lower decker. I want to see him
because he was on the lowest deck.
He never got a chance to be a lower decker.
Yeah,
he was on the lowest deck.
Bring in Tom Morello again.
Should I show this, son?
But regardless, like,
if you haven't looked at it, then you wouldn't know, would you?
Hang on.
Regardless, like, I've rambled a lot and about this long enough. Like, seeing Sonia Gomez here was a real highlight. And before I passed the mic on, there was one thing I actually wanted to say because I did hear Greg say something about Tom Paris this season about him like having a good appearance. Like, I actually wanted to say, like, his appearance this season actually kind of fell flat to me, because his appearance amounted to little more than just fan service. Why was he here aside from just a little fan service? He really didn't contribute much to the story. Riker and Troy may have been brought on initially as fan service, but they had a real, like, they had an impact to the story. They had reasons for being there. And so, like, seeing Gomez brought here and having that same impact to the story and everything, like, as much as I love Paris, like, when his episode came, it was like, like, it was nice to see him, I guess, you know, like, I'm hoping that we get more, like, awesome stuff like this. But yes.
I passed a compliment on Lower Decks and Travis shreds it apart. There's no pleasing you people, damn it.
Raina, what were your thoughts on the episode?
You can acknowledge something as flawed and still enjoy it. Like, I didn't say I didn't like the Tom Paris cameo. I just said that it fell flat.
See, that's what Greg's problem is that he goes all in on the hate train. So when he does do a good train, it's like a boy who cried wolf situation. It's like it's too late.
It's like cried boy.
But no, I really liked it. Honestly, like, I don't know how I feel about a somber ending in Lower Decks. Like, I understand it, and I know it's a very Star Trek staple. It's just, this is the show where it's like, I know this sounds weird, but I'm gonna say it now. Like, I've watched a lot of DS9 in Discovery the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And Discovery in DS9 has some very, very suffocating moments. Where I feel like Lower Decks doesn't need to do those kinds of endings, and I get that it's like a great cliffhanger, you know, but it was unnecessary. Like, I go to Lower Decks to, like, after I've watched a lot of Discovery, and let me tell you, like, Discovery's not a bad show, but you need some fucking humor after watching that show. And I feel like there was no reason for it. It was good. I did like the Sonya reference because, oh my god, a reference, another one I can get. Awesome. I've watched all of PG, so I get it. But I don't know. Like, I felt the finale was weak. I didn't really dig it as much. Like, I thought it was fun. It had some great character moments. I really liked the pep talk scene. That was my favorite one. Like, the whole thing with Mariner and Boimler. You know, like, Mariner and Boimler, like, you fucking got this. You can do this. Go talk to your mom. And I love all those scenes with Mariner and mom, because literally, if you guys want to know what my relationship with my mom is, it's exactly like that. You could ask Travis. It's 1 for 1. So every time they have one of those heartfelt moments, I feel like, oh my god, I'm like, this really hits home with me. I liked it. I still think, like, it wasn't the best this season. Personally, I feel like what were the episodes this season? Just to recap.
We got The Spy Humongous. We got Wage Douche. We got
yeah, I think Wage Douche was the best one. That was my favorite one all season. I don't know.
Kind of bummed that I wasn't there to talk about that one. I was
like,
just,
yeah, it's just I don't. This finale, I don't know what it is. Like, I wish I could say, like, genuinely what the criticism I have for it is. I guess it just didn't really appeal to me that much. Like, it was like it felt good till the end, but it was just meh for me, I guess. Like, I just didn't have as much fun with it as I did this season. Like, I feel like a finale should be really just action packed and really good and, like, hilarious by Lower Deck standards. And I just didn't feel this one, honestly. It was good. It just wasn't great for me.
Raul, how about you?
Not like that.
I did not see the episode. I'm so sorry.
Okay. Well, thank you, Raina. I've lost track.
Justin.
I'll go. Yeah. I don't think I've went yet. And Greg hasn't went yet. So.
And Sun goes after us.
All right, Sun.
No, like Justin
No,
first, then Greg,
Justin,
then Sun.
Then because Sun does the end of end.
Yeah.
So how much have you been drinking tonight, Ross?
I haven't drunk a thing. I'm just
Are
loopy.
you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Okay.
The house is dry.
Well,
It is non-alcoholic.
Sorry.
Bless you.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Do you have any pumpkins in there?
No pumpkins.
Are you
Like
sure?
Gourds are known for hiding secret alcohol.
No, there are no gourds in the house.
Okay, so it's my go, and then okay.
Yes.
I don't want to take anyone else's turn. Okay, so the episode overall was great. Sensation Ops, finally. We have been waiting so long for
agree.
this. I was hoping we get a little bit better look on it, but hopefully now that it's there, we'll be able to go back to it later on. Let's see. The episode. I mean, I'm kind of with Rain on. I was expecting it to be a little bit more than what we got. We were all expecting Boiler versus Boiler, but we didn't get it. But the way they ended it was okay. I wouldn't say best of both worlds, but Travis is right on. It is being talked about like best of both worlds because there has not been a Star Trek episode that has ended quite like that in a while. So I gotta say that was very enjoyable. It was a pleasant surprise, and I have some predictions coming up on the whole Freeman bit. I think she was not getting arrested at all, but she is going on a covert op.
Let's save that for the speculation part.
Okay.
Anything else?
That's it.
All right. Son.
Greg.
Greg went first.
Greg is now son.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Feeding me my emo.
Man, this episode was trash.
Remove, mute, remove.
I was waiting for Justin to do the ooh sound effect. For lower, everybody's saying like, oh, it was great. There we go. Everybody says, oh man, this episode's good, but not great. I'm sitting here like, actually, I probably enjoyed this episode a little bit because of Sonia Gomez, because of the Obila class, which I'm with Travis. That's my new favorite class. But
yes. And I love its own thing. They just didn't rebrand the Excelsior. Rename.
Yeah, the Excelsior got a complete overhaul. I love the Excelsior class. I actually, in every Star Trek game, I use the Excelsior class for combat. But overall, the episode was good. Like I said, I fell in love with the Obila class. I had a Scotty moment when it's in the Stardock. It's like, what do you want with that bucket of bolts? But it's not a bucket of bolts. It's a very advanced starship.
Excelsior is gorgeous.
I love the ship. The episode overall was pretty good. They actually had some more. I want to say, how do I say this? Like more of like a TNG DS9 feel, where like they actually had to solve a problem, not so much Mariner's way, like okay, my way or the highway. Like they actually had to sit there, like okay, we need to really think this shit out and do this, which was basically the Cerritos got naked, and a little bit of a callback to Star Trek first. A little bit of a callback to Star Trek First Contact with the panels, with lifting the thing in Cetacean Ops that Boimler had to do. And then, of course, I feel that Rutherford, he's not a Vulcan experiment. So he was very clearly not experimenting on my Vulcans in that memory. I think Tendi getting the promotion over everybody to senior science officer is interesting. I'm not against it. Again, it's just interesting. I hope that here's one thing I'm looking forward to this season. This is not speculation, but it's like we're gonna have acting Captain Jack Ransom.
Probably.
Will they promote him, or will they send someone else to the ship to take command?
That's what I'm wondering. Again, speculation. I'll say
yes.
That.
We'll save that for the speculation part.
I wasn't disappointed with Cetacean Ops per se. Cool, we got to look at it, but I was expecting a little bit more than a couple of horny beluga whales. Why are you
small
sweaty?
Ship, so I mean, and I'm gonna go ahead and step up for. I'm gonna go ahead and step up for the beluga whales. I don't think they're horny. Like, I get like as a guy
hitting on Rutherford.
As a guy who is like, I really like marine biology.
Okay.
And I always get very low-key annoyed when people are like, oh, dolphins rape things, and oh, they're always horny and stuff like it's like, good fucking grief, get some new jokes. Like, I see these officers like they are sentient because they're able to talk. Yes. They are very playful mammals, though. Like dolphins
are
and
playful.
whales
Yeah,
are they're very playful. And so when I see them, like, oh, come and join in. You look sweaty. Come and cool off in the water. Like that's just them being playful. Like them, like. Even them saying like, "Oh, come, you saved your friend. Let's go skinny dipping." Like that's not really a horny thing. Like that's just they're being playful, and it's like I got a good chuckle out of that. Like I'm very happy that they didn't just resort to a cheap like, oh, they're just horny type of like spelling it out type of thing. Like I probably would have groaned if they had just straight up done that.
Hey, look at it this way, Travis. If it were the Orville, it would just be Ed telling people that he would hope to just fucking drown rather than deal with his wife's bullshit for a whole nother episode.
Oh God.
Okay, I wasn't going to do this right now, but this being a first contact episode, I think they stole this idea from Orville.
What?
Oh.
No.
Anyway, I'm going
once again lays out an argument and doesn't provide context.
Well, because you guys will tear me apart.
Yes, we will. And you're bad. You know you're wrong.
Here, hold on. As far as season finales go, I will put this up there in the upper echelon of like the top 7 season finales over all the seasons of Trek, because you'll never top Best of Both Worlds. That's not the Disco. That's not the Disco Prodigy. You will never top Best of Both Worlds. Call to Arms is number 2.
No,
but you will never top. You'll never top them. But this season finale stacks up as a good one compared to what happened the entire season. I would have given it number 2 if they had given me the Boimer versus Boimer. I would have gushed. You think Travis fanboys, if they had given me Boimer versus Boimer, I would have nutted over this show. Worse than what the softcore porn episode we got.
BBB, Dawn of Excretus.
But anyway, so before we get
to show that on the screen.
Before we get to something else, yes, I kind of enjoyed this episode. Season finale wise, it is up there in the echelon of Trek season finales. So we'll see what happens in season 3, and we'll see what Sun says after our reviews.
All right, Sun, let's hear it.
Go ahead, Justin.
Let me take a gander in SuperGeeks chat. There's something I cannot display on the stream.
You can display it. You absolutely can display it.
Do it.
I literally said, look at the picture first.
And
no. I put it in chat.
The Enterprise is the sexiest ship in Starfleet. Sovereign.
The Enterprise D is one of the ugliest ships in Star Trek I've ever seen.
I will slice you like they do a road cake blood pie.
I have never liked the Galaxy class. Just never have. I hate how
that
saucer is.
Really? You call the Galaxy ugly? What about the Oberth class? Really?
That's the most pointless ship in Starfleet.
Excuse you, Enterprise J. Thank you.
Thank you, Son. Thank you.
J. I hate the Enterprise J as well.
Okay.
All I can say is
I hate the Odyssey. I hate the Odyssey class.
Are we getting the picture, or are we going to let Sun go? Which one are we getting?
Yes. I'm getting the one I put in SuperGeeks chat.
So you literally can pull it up right here in the stream. It's
Ross
not
bad.
bad.
Snap somebody in half. Sun. What? Hold on. Burning within. The fuck does that mean? It shouldn't happen. Oh my god. What?
I got another one over here that somebody made a meme of. Of course, it's a naked time one.
Uh-oh.
See, that's the one you probably shouldn't show.
Yeah, so that's why I put it in the SuperGeeks chat. Because I can't show that particular one.
I can't look it up on the SuperGeeks chat because it's going to come up on the screen on my Twitch.
So, Son, what's your review?
Man with the naked ship. It's Shaq saying it's naked time. That's fine.
Okay, got it.
So, Son, what is your review on our reviews?
Honestly, it's Rick and Morty style, and I hate it.
It's not.
You are allowed to believe what you want to believe, Travis. Let me believe what I believe.
Hi, Kitty.
I'm like listening to you guys. I'm glad you like it. At this point, that's all I can say about every episode. I'm glad you like it. It sounds like some interesting things have happened that are going to find a resolution next season. You guys got to see Cetacean Ops, which you were all clamoring for.
Yep.
There was still no fucking resolution to why there are two Boimlers, and why the other Boimler is on the Titan, and the Prime Boimler is on the Cerritos.
That was resolved. Yeah, that was resolved in that episode.
In a shitty way, though.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying you can't like.
It was a way to bring him back while maintaining at least some growth.
I can deal with it. Okay, I'll deal with the two Boimlers. But why did you demote him? What? Okay, I get he's going back to the Cerritos, but why punish him by demoting him? It's one thing to send him back to the Cerritos, but you go and like, oh, since we're keeping this one, you're not only you're going back to the Cerritos, you're demoted. It's like, what?
So I actually have a thought on that's actually ties into something from the first season. So remember in that far future classroom setting where they said Brad Boimler was the laziest and most useless officer ever to serve in Starfleet?
Uh-oh.
Which one?
Uh-oh. Are we diving into speculation time now for season 3?
Yes, let's go into speculation. And I have a couple others to
Hold on.
to throw at you guys before we go into the round table here.
Okay, that's fun.
So in the beginning, when Carol and her husband and everyone was talking about, or actually it was in the captain's log, she said that the captain of the Archimedes was her old friend. Did Freeman serve on the Enterprise?
Ooh.
And did Mariner grow up there? Ooh.
Don't break
I heard a
Greg.
groan.
That's gonna break me.
It would explain
You don't like that
a
idea?
lot.
It would explain why she knows Worf. It would explain why she knows Riker so well. It really would, but it would annoy the fuck out of me.
Why?
Because I get things retcon, but this is retconning for convenience versus like, okay.
How is it a retcon if it's not established in canon at all? We don't know anything about Freeman's past or previous career. So why would her being assigned to the Enterprise as a junior officer or as a lower decker be a retcon?
I mean, the Enterprise was a giant ship. There's probably stories upon stories. I mean, look how big the D was. I mean, you can fit the entire crew in one section of the saucer.
Maybe Freeman and Gomez went to the Academy together and got assigned on different ships. Because Geordi did say he requested Gomez out of the Academy. Freeman could have been requested by somebody else on another ship. Like, okay, I was like, okay, my dumbass was about to say Yamato, but it was destroyed, so scratch that.
All right, so Justin, you had a theory about Freeman. Let's hear it.
Well, we already know they've done Black Ops before. So, my thinking is this is some type of mission because something did happen in the Pac-Lib thing, and she was the easiest one to pin, and she's just going to be going undercover. But, that's my guess on it. She's still going to get promoted. That was going to be part of the promotion that she was going to end up going undercover and do this
kind of
Black
like a
Ops
chain of
mission.
command thing?
Yeah, kind of like that.
Even though they already ripped on Chain of Command.
Yeah, they did.
Well, I mean, this show is famous for that. That's why I really think there might be a Black Ops thing. And again, they could just pull a sax on us, and she could actually be back next season like nothing ever happened.
Oh God.
Well, they at least waited a few episodes before that.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
my speculations are just quick. We're gonna see. I hope we see an acting Captain Jack Ransom. I want to see that. Second one, we're gonna see since the show's famous for ripping. If she is in trouble and goes to a penal colony, let's say she does go to penal colony, we're gonna see a Star Trek 6 ripoff. That's my speculation. Someone go next.
All right.
Your speculation's horrible.
Travis.
Your face is horrible.
Let's hear it, Travis.
It is.
I'm gonna go ahead and shoot down the Freeman special ops thing here. A lot of people are saying that, like, a lot of people are like predicting with the destruction of Packlet Planet that Section 31 is somehow involved. I'm just going to come out and say it right now. I think the destruction of Packlet Planet is just due to the incompetence of the Packlets.
Wouldn't surprise me.
You know what's going to happen. Like, I am fairly certain that that's what's going to happen. Packlet Planet was destroyed by some Packlet. Is like, what's this button do? Kaboom! And that's the destruction of the Packlet homeworld, because they thought they could. I mean, this is the same race that thought they could reuse a bomb after testing it on an asteroid. I mean, is this beyond them? Are we?
Well, they were smart enough to test it on an asteroid, not on their ship.
Touche.
That's true.
True.
And not on their home planet.
This is more anti-Gorf hatred.
But
Before
I say that every sci-fi race that is a small and yet cute and somehow mechanically inclined, they get screwed in the end by the genre.
There's nothing cute about a Packlet.
Oh, it's so adorable.
If we're talking about small, cute alien technological aliens, where the hell are the fucking Binars? Thank you.
They've been name dropped a couple times.
They've been
name dropped. Where the fuck are they?
Before Brandon gives her speculation, I have a George theory. With the whole Packlet Planet, if Travis is right, or I don't know if he said Section, if it is Section 31, there's Giorgio, or bring back Will Sadler. That's how you bring back.
I actually, in my little thing that I wrote this week about characters I hope we see,
you put Giorgio.
I actually did express hope for potentially seeing Philippa Giorgio.
So I'm hoping for Sloan.
Sloan's dead.
Sloan is not dead.
As far as we know.
He killed himself in season 7.
He's died before.
He's died before. All right, Raina, your turn. Sorry, go for it.
Let's hear it, Raina.
Hold on. Like,
go ahead, Travis. Go ahead, finish.
But yeah, that's my first thing was definitely Packlets destroyed their own world. I'm also willing to bet that Rutherford is actually connected with Section 31, which I feel would be some of the funniest irony, because like seeing like how he behaves around Mariner in episode 4 when he thinks like she's this black ops agent, and it's like, did you eat them, you Section 31 double agents, like only to be like programmed by Section 31 himself without even knowing it. I think that would just be some of the funniest irony that this show could throw at us.
Well, I mean, we already know that he can switch through to different modes with his implants, so I mean, there might be a covert op mode. I mean, it's been touched on before. So.
And it would make his covert op with Shax make a bit more sense.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Travis. Raina.
I think one of the plots, like Lower Decks is finding like little themes to kind of drive home some of those crazy scenarios. I wouldn't be surprised if they do like, we have a mole on the Cerritos that actually sabotaged our negotiations with the Packlets while they were down there, and just made it look like Freeman was involved. Like, not even to really like gain anything, but maybe someone that's actually trying to sabotage her as a captain. I wouldn't be surprised at that. I as much as I want the evil Boyms just like going out and just hijacking the Titan and just getting into chaos, I don't think I'm kind of convinced now that once they do crazy shit like that, they will never go back to it, because I think like this whole season had a lot of ripe moments to bring Badgie back and stuff. They aren't going to do that. I think Lower Decks is going to be very, very one-off on a lot of stuff. My only speculation that I really have is I think it's definitely going to be someone within the Federation that's caused this kind of thing. I don't think it's an undercover issue. I do believe, and I really do hope they have like a crazy Phoenix Wright trial scene.
You know, if there is a spy on Cerritos, I want it to turn out to be Shax.
Oh
it
my
would
God, that'd be
be Freeman's induction into the order of many starship captains who have been court-martialed.
What about Rutherford? What if he did it? Doesn't remember he did it, and because of what he's had done to him, they just had it where he made it look like the captain did it.
He was kind of busy when that happened, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's been busy most of the season.
Where was he during that scene?
I don't remember.
Was he still
exactly?
You notice that it's confirmed Rutherford and the bomb were never in the same room. So there you go.
Well,
yeah, we know of.
We probably we wouldn't know if there was a Veruvian bomb on the Cerritos, but that'd be a big thing to hide. Something that could crack a planet.
It's not a Veruvian bomb; it's a boomer.
Can I just say that was the best highlight of this season, though? Is that I still stand by that damn Klingon captain was like my favorite thing all season.
Yes.
What do you mean you tested the bomb? We hit the rock with it, and we were waiting for it to come back. It's a bomb. It's not supposed to come back. Send over another bomb.
Wish Douche was definitely my favorite episode of the entire season.
Yes, it
On
was.
the note of the Klingons, I am halfway willing to bet that next season we're either going to be seeing Martok or Worf.
I am now going to spin a bit of a George theory for you guys based on the events of this season. So I'm kind of in agreement with Justin that that Carol has been arrested not because she actually was the one who did the bomb, but they need her help since she's the only Starfleet officer who's been to Pakled planets and her experience with the Pakled so far. The crew of the Cerritos is going to try and get in and do their own clandestine op to clear her name. We are going to see the lower decker who became captain of the Klingon ship again. Since it is Klingon extremists, he's probably going to be heading up the investigation to root them out, and that's going to tie in. We're going to see T'Lyn again. I'm pretty sure she's going to show up on the Cerritos, and I will stretch after I'm done. Thank you, Greg. And she's going to butt heads with everybody because although she's emotionally compromised for a Vulcan ship, she is too stodgy and straight-laced for a Starfleet ship, and it's going to be excellent comedy.
Sounds like T'Pol.
Yeah, it's
Almost T'Pol's hair that one year.
The question is whether all this is going to be handled episodically or serially. Lower Decks has been pretty serial or episodic overall, with little threads that tie everything together, except in the last couple episodes. So it's going to be interesting. We're going to see a lot more of the shady side of Starfleet next season. That's what I think. And everything's going to kind of highlight.
You know who else could make it?
We're probably going to see Section 31. We're going to see a lot of Starfleet intelligence. We're probably going to get a court-martial episode. There's going to be a lot of fun.
You know who else is going to make an appearance? Probably Bashir. Bashir,
maybe.
That's a one that we have ignored. I mean, we're talking Section 31. Giorgio Bashir would be my top two guesses.
I'm going to call Captain Dax and the Aventine.
And her too, because she's also Section 31.
Why would she be Section 31?
She is, she's handled Black Ops in the books.
Well, we don't know how they're going to handle how Lower Decks is going to handle Section 31 yet, but that's the big legacy character that I'm calling for next season.
I would bet on Dax, Worf, and Bashir.
All right, now I will stretch as let's wrap up Lower Decks and get into some of our other topics.
Let's do a rating for the season, man. We got to do a rating for the season.
Okay,
quickly
for me, it was good. And that's my rating. It was good.
With 5 badgies.
Veggies.
Five badgies, thumbs up.
I'll give it 7 out of 10 hungry baby Grogu's.
Grogu sucks. No, I'm kidding.
Raina, your season rating?
I would say it's a 9 out of 10 with a must-watch seal of approval from Raina.
Lane, what about you?
He's so charismatic. Just a true leader of our time.
And so often that they just.
He's so insightful. He's so insightful, and he's just dead on everything, and he just, he tells it like it is.
Anyway,
we need a.
I would say, I'm in the realm of 8 and 9 out of 10 for me. Like that was, this season did a lot that I really liked. That was very different from last season. Made it stand out from last season, despite I thought the season started pretty slow at first.
It did,
but I mean, I will have more to say there. I'm actually working on writing a full-length review of my expanded thoughts on the season, so we'll see how that goes.
All right. Okay. Now, any final thoughts on Lower Decks before moving on to our other stories of the week?
It's good.
I did actually have one final thing. First of all, I fucking need to get a beach towel of the cetacean ops. That's actually a thing. I really want to get one of those. And
wait, you don't want a Dakimakura?
What?
Body pillow.
You don't want pillow. You don't want a waifu pillow of the belugas from Cetacean Ops? What?
I've kind of lost my train of thought.
I mean, you don't want one of them plushies that says
the joke's over. You guys, come on.
All right, let's wrap up our Lower Deck segment and move on to our other topics of the week. And in DC news, we've got a brand new trailer for The Batman. Have you all seen it?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes, no, yes, son.
I watched it, yeah.
I probably just broke my kid, but it's all good.
I thought this was an interesting trailer. I mean, we've all seen a bunch of different Batman movies that all took different takes on the character, the setting, and everything else. But I gotta say, I'm intrigued. I'm interested. And holy fuck, that music. Oh my god, that music. A completely new melody, but just how the Batman Overture theme was woven into everything gave me chills.
Whoever was in charge of the musical scoring is a genius.
It was so damn good. That alone has me wanting to see this movie badly.
Now, I know I've heard a couple complaints about the Riddler mask, but however, they used the same mask in Titans for that Riddler. Almost the same mask. Maybe a few alterations, but pretty much the same mask. And Titans is fucking awesome.
Hey, if they make the Riddler a compelling villain, I'll be happy.
Riddler shouldn't have a mask, though. He was never a masked villain in the comics, except for the later ones. And to be honest, he was he was like a distinguished villain for Batman. And he doesn't need a mask. They're doing the mask to separate him from Jim Carrey's portrayal. And I don't agree with it. I'm sorry. You just get a charismatic actor.
They had him in a mask once or twice in the original TV show.
True, but it wasn't his staple. It was never. Frank Gorshin did a lot with his face, and so I just
that's why it was just the eye mask more than anything.
Right,
and
exactly.
It kind of had a mask in the DC animated film where it was the Riddler that was Hush.
Now, we don't know, though, if he's going to have the mask on the entire movie. It might just be, a thing to kind of surprise people for now. Because you know how they are with the DC movies. They love to fuck with us.
Well,
Yes.
when you've got a property that's as old and as storied as Batman, you can't do the same thing over and over and over again. You've got to change things up.
So,
Not unlike Spider-Man.
God,
well, Marvel's kind of changed things up a little bit here and there.
Marvel has done good in certain aspects, but I agree with Son. Spider-Man's story is... it's so...
Yeah.
We've had too much
Wait a minute. We can't give Marvel shit for that. That's on Sony.
Yeah, that's mostly
that's true. That's absolutely true. Sony decided to go past to redo the past over and over and over again.
Well, in the comics they have is not just One More Day, but there was another one that seems to be mirroring No Way Home, where he had Doctor Strange reset things.
And then, of course, we have the travesty that is the Flash, that they're apparently doing Flashpoint yet again, that they've beaten to death over and over and over. But we are getting Tim Burton's Batman.
Michael Keaton Batman.
Yeah, Michael Keaton.
That's in the Flash movie.
I would argue it is Tim Burton's Batman.
Yeah.
So my take on the Batman trailer, Robert Pattinson. I have been a fanboy of unpopular choices for Batman. Christian Bale was a good choice, but Ben Affleck and Robert Pattinson have received some shit for being cast as Batman.
Awful stuff as people have said.
Batfleck is my favorite one. It's my favorite portrayal. Him as Batman is my favorite. But
I agree with Greg.
When Robert Pattinson was cast, I was excited, and I was seeing this first full-length trailer. When I saw the first one last year, now this one, now that the movie's completed, and seeing this whole trailer, Robert Pattinson is going to absolutely own this role. When I think so. When he's in the jail cell talking, he's like, "What did you do?" That voice that he's projecting is amazing. And my favorite line of the trailer so far is when he's beating down what looks like one of the Joker guys, if we will. But when he's beating him down, it's like, "Who are you?" He goes, "I'm Vengeance." That again, I still reiterate, gives me Kevin Conroy type feels. Go ahead, Raina.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think everyone's praising the music I've seen in the comment sections, but I think it's probably some of the best cinematography I've seen in a long time. For a DC film. That's what I've been saying. I think people take it when I say I don't like the dark aesthetic, you have to be all in and you have to use it properly with what you're given, your music, your ambiance to everything. I was telling Ross, the biggest important thing with horror or dark is your ambiance, and this trailer just nails it. The fight scene where the only light in the hallway is the gunfire is very clever. I friggin' love that. The scene with the Batmobile flying out of the fire was one of the coolest things ever. But more importantly than not, I don't mind the whole Riddler look. If you guys have seen the Batman animated TV show, the Riddler looked fucking horrible. He looked like a My Chemical Romance reject. So this is he looks menacing. If you just had him as some dude with a wacky fucking mask, you wouldn't have taken him seriously. He fits the aesthetic of this movie, and really just I love the fucking costume.
Batmobile.
I love how primitive it is. The fucking bat symbol is a disassembled gun. I can't even they had shown it zoomed in, and I guess the theory is it's the gun that killed Bruce Wayne's parents. Yeah, and it's really just a awesome suit, and he's wearing regular combat boots and shit. It feels very Batman Year One, and I love it.
That's a vibe that they're actually going for.
And I don't know if you guys had watched the interview with Robert Pattinson, and I love the take that he had on it. They did a little snippet of it in that article I shared about where he wore the Val Kilmer suit to kind of try out for it. They had him wear it, and they got that look from it all. And I like where he's he doesn't know how hard, the quote is, he doesn't know how hard he should hit people. He doesn't know how, this is very much a new Batman, which I feel is a great story to tell. Batman Year One is one of the best comics in the Batman mythos. Between that and The Long Halloween and Hush, like those three are like your top three.
Yep. Absolutely.
But I feel like I love that Batman story because that's what I loved about Batman Begins, and I will argue all fucking day that out of that trilogy, Batman Begins like stuck with me because it felt very much like that. It's nice to see him getting his bearings and learning his ropes because like you could tell he's unrestrained. He's like a dog off a leash. Like he's just rabid when he fights, and I love it. Like the whole first trailer of him just grabbing the guy's arm, breaking it, and just smacking him around was like the most brutal thing I think I've seen in a while. And I was like, you can be dark. DC doesn't understand that. Justice League, where it failed, is you try to do that light humor joke shit in a very dark aesthetic, and it doesn't work. Marvel can do lighthearted jokes because it's all light. I feel like DC, if you're going to have a baseline of dark, like keep it consistent. I feel like they finally got it. Between Joker and this, they finally got what they were trying to do. And they're finally finding their footing. I was waiting for this moment, and I'm really, really cannot wait to see this movie.
If I'm one of the points I wanted to harp on,
Son was trying to say something first.
Yeah,
I was trying to say something a long time ago.
You're next, Raul.
Let Raul go first.
Okay.
Okay. Two things. My favorite Batman portrayal so far has also been Ben Affleck. And not because he's good in the suit, it's because he's exactly good outside of the suit. He's the best portrayal of Bruce Wayne as a human being that I've seen. However, I think Patterson will be the best portrayal of the Batman physically. He's tall, he's muscular, he's young, he's agile as hell. And that's Batman. Christian Bale was not Batman in the suit. He was strong. He was slow. He really couldn't have taken on the villains he did, if not for the movie's magic of movies. This guy in the bat suit will be the best portrayal we have seen in a long time. And secondly, I'd like to also mention that one of my favorite portrayals that I haven't seen anybody bring to the screen is called Gotham by Gaslight.
Yes.
It's the first world, written by a friend of mine who lives here next to me, and he really would like to see it before he passes, and I would like to see it too. I think
they did an animated one of that.
Excuse me?
Didn't they do an animated version of Gotham?
They did an animated, but I would love to see because it's steampunk and steampunk is super hot. I would love to see a live action of it. That's the only thing I wanted to mention. Go ahead, son.
So watching the trailer, it this is the reason I bring up that kind of like the Adam West Batman kind of thing. It really feels like this portrayal of Batman is the kind of original comic version of Batman, where he was both the breaking into people's houses and stuff as a quote unquote detective, and then just randomly beating the shit out of people. Like excessively beating the shit out of people. That was the original Batman. Like the original Batman was literally supposed to kill the Joker, just straight up murder his ass. So, like, that's what this feels like.
One thing I was going to bring with the trailer that nobody else did, because we're talking about the Riddler and how we think about Batman. If you hadn't told me Colin Farrell was in this movie, I wouldn't know he's Penguin. Good God, I think he's gonna. I think what they did with casting with the bad guys in this film, Paul Dano is going to give us an amazing Riddler. Selena Kyle, Zoe Kravitz and Selena Kyle is going to be amazing. She's already proven that one, and I like that they're already portraying them as allies. They're not going to be. They're going to be working together very quickly versus building a relationship. It's like, okay, we need to help each other. But Colin Farrell is the Penguin. Like, he is going to own that role. Like, his voice, his looks, it doesn't look anything like Colin Farrell. And I think it's going to be pretty good. It's going to be definitely better than his last comic book portrayal as Bullseye, for sure.
Well, so they're watching this trailer, and I haven't seen the other. I haven't like sat down and watched the other series, but there's like so much shit going on in the series. I kept wondering, is this going to be like them? Like, is this going to be the movies going, hey, this is our version of the after events of Gotham? Because that's kind of what it feels like as well.
Yes. Even though it does seem to be portraying year one, it's the after effects of Gotham that I'm really interested in seeing on the silver screen. I would also like to say that Penguin is my absolute favorite villain because I believe intensely that Batman's villains gallery, rogues gallery, represents all the psychosis of Gotham, and the like Joker is madness, Croc is physical fear of something huge, and Penguin represents corruption to me. And I believe that the corruption of Gotham will be through Penguin's eyes in this movie, which I'm very excited to see.
I just hope they don't throw Ra's al Ghul in. I just don't throw Ra's al Ghul in. He has been done to death.
We'll
I
see.
really don't like Ra's al Ghul. I've never liked him as a character.
We're definitely gonna get another one thing that's only gonna bug me about the Batman movie is the whole parents dying thing. Now I get why his symbol is the broken apart gun. Cool, I respect that choice. But the fact that we're gonna see another Bruce Wayne parents death, I'm like, okay, look, we've seen it enough times. Now if they just start kind of to the point where it's like after the death, and that's what, like, so this is why I have the gun, but they don't show his parents' death, I'll roll with that. But they show us the parents' death, I'm like, okay, we've seen this enough times.
The best way that they could start this movie off is the gunshot, and then whoever did it drops the gun and runs, so that Bruce has the gun.
I will say that to add to Rawls' point, like I do feel the same way about Batman's villains, that they all feel very much a shadow of Gotham. They feel a reflection on itself, and I do agree. Like I feel like the Penguin doesn't get love, and I feel like he's the perfect antagonist, not just for Batman but Bruce Wayne as well, because he's the complete opposite of the man that Bruce Wayne is, and I feel like it's a mirror of what he could have been had he had become the way he had. You know, like had he let the money get to his head and the fame, and he very much does. But I kind of like this. I kind of like this whole idea that, like, I think they even acknowledge it in the first trailer, like, oh my God, like, you know, like, you're a shitty Bruce Wayne, but you're really good at Batman, and I don't know how I feel about that, you know, like, where it's like, I feel like that is the perfect, another aspect of year one that Patterson, like, in his mannerisms, where he's sitting back with the sunglasses on, like a fucking edgelord. Like, I feel like he's talking about, like, he doesn't sleep properly, he doesn't eat properly, he hardly does his responsibilities. Like, I feel like someone who's just getting the ropes of that nightlife, like, I feel like it makes sense he looks the way he does and acts the way he does, and very bizarre. And see, that was the thing I liked about Keaton in the first film. Like, I feel like he nails down that fucking weirdo vibe that, like, you would get from someone who's going around on rooftops at night beating the shit out of bad guys. Like, you know, he does have that manic vibe, and I love that.
That's why Keaton was the perfect balance between Batman and Bruce Wayne, in my opinion, in terms of portrayal.
I also think with this Batman movie, we're gonna get Michael Keaton is the best Alfred, in my opinion, of all Batman. Michael Keaton is quintessential Alfred. Andy Serkis is gonna challenge that.
And you know what?
Okay, I gotta jump in here and say, how come no one has mentioned Catwoman yet?
We did.
Because I don't give a shit, really. I've seen Catwoman way too much in Batman movies.
I like that her costume looks like the comic book costume.
Yeah,
that's a.
It's gonna be hard to beat.
You know what I like about this? You know what I like about this? They're making it look like it's not so much comic book, but they're making it look like someone actually got stuff together in real life and made Batman. The car looks about
they kind of did that with Christian Bale's Batman to a degree. I know Christian Bale's like much more comic booky. I'll give you that, but they kind of did with Christian Bale because they show him going to Wayne Enterprises, like, hey, I need this made. Pattinson, though, with Pattinson's Batman, it very much looks like they're making their own gear, handmade, to do this.
Yeah,
I would say the portrayal overall is very middle class. This is what middle class Batman would be. And instead of the rich boy with like every toy in the world, he has fists and he has a fucking car, and he's gonna ram you with both. So that's pretty much this portrayal of Batman.
All right. Obviously, this trailer has given us a lot of information, a lot of stuff to think about and talk about. But it is almost midnight. We still got a couple topics to talk about. So let's roll on through with our next couple assorted topics for the evening. Thank you guys for your thoughts and impressions on the Batman trailer. Now, who's a How to Train Your Dragon fan in here? Well, you'll be pleased to know that a new series has been announced. How to Train Your Dragon and the Nine Realms, a new series that's taking place 1,300 years after the events of the original trilogy, where the dragons reemerge in the modern world. It is being produced by DreamWorks for Peacock and Hulu.
I am very curious about this. Like, I love the How to Train Your Dragon movies. I have the entire trilogy downstairs. Well, it's actually packed away now, but I have it all on Blu-ray.
This is Leia's favorite
like,
too.
What's that?
Sorry, Travis. I'm just saying this is Leia's like go-to is How to Train Your Dragon.
It's a brilliant trilogy.
Oh yeah, she's hopping up and down on Twitch chat.
Very well done.
It is absolutely like one of the.
We don't see her in Twitch chat.
My Twitch chat.
It is absolutely like one of the best film like one of my personal favorite film trilogies out there. You know, up there with Back to the Future, Lord of the Rings. Like, this is one that I just really get a kick out of. Like, I was not the biggest fan of DreamWorks a lot of the time back in the day. Because like the whole like hype behind Shrek died off very quickly for me. I never really got into Kung Fu Panda. I need to see those movies, I know, but like I just didn't really get into them. Like How to Train Your Dragon was pretty much my gateway to realizing that there was more to DreamWorks as a, you know, movie studio than Shrek farting and lighting a fire. It was like a story that had its tropes and cliches, but knew how to handle them in a way that felt fresh and like genuinely wholesome. And like it took like so many turns in like how it told its story through each movie that like I honestly was fairly surprised at in a lot of good ways. And so seeing them making a show a full millennium after, you know, Hiccup and Toothless and whatnot, like I will be very curious to see what they do here. And yeah, like I'm on board. Like I am totally down to, you know, throw some money at this.
Right. Leia said it best, and this is I'm calling it that the dragon we see in the trailer, the one the kid is riding, is a descendant of Toothless's cow baby dragons.
Oh, of course.
Ooh,
of course.
But
absolutely.
I can definitely appreciate the animation style on this. Usually when a movie is thrown into a show, the animation dips just because of production costs. The animation of the show looks really good, so I can give it that. But a 1-minute teaser, you give us a Night Fury right off the bat. I'm hooked. And it looks like it's. I know it says 1,300 years. I'm going to assume that's present day.
Yes.
Leia, like when Leia saw
I
it,
didn't realize there was a trailer. I have to see.
Hydrate.
The trailer.
Oh, yeah. It's a 1 minute.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know either, Travis.
Yeah, look up How to Train Your Dragon 9 Realms. There's a 1-minute teaser.
Can you maybe link it in chat so we can all see it?
But I'm looking forward to it.
It's in Trello.
Because the synopsis is the forgotten times of the dragons. Like nobody knows about Hiccup. Nobody knows about Toothless. It's like this is going to uncover their history. But yeah, Raul, what about you?
Oh, I just want to say that such a wholesome film deserves and creative. I would say I would put it up there in terms of animation with the Pixar studios. Their Toy Story. It's really well done, well thought out stories. And to in a format for children is amazing because we always see the lack of quality in children's shows, and this is not one of them. This is not one of them, and because it appeals to adults as well, and it's so smart the way they do it. Very intelligent. I'm very impressed with this particular production studio that works for Dream. I forgot the name.
DreamWorks.
DreamWorks. Thank you. My
DreamWorks.
brain's not working right now.
We're all kind of circling.
We're all starting to wind down after 2 hours, 9 minutes,
Yeah,
and 36 seconds.
True. But I just wanted to say real quickly that I'm looking forward to it. I don't know if I'll subscribe to Hulu for it because I really hate that network. No offense, but I really don't like their practices.
Alrighty.
What about you? What about the furry with the dragons?
I'm excited for it. You know, I like when they do that kind of stuff. I haven't seen enough of it to really know how it's going to be. I actually agree with you, Greg. Like, I feel like my biggest worry is, you know, like all the time when shows like dip that quality because they just can't afford it. But it looks like damn near 1-to-1 from what I've seen, and I really admire them for like taking that extra step. And yeah, I feel like I had actually, just so you guys know, I had just watched all the movies earlier this year because I hadn't seen them, and I was like, you know what, it's time, and I really enjoyed them. I think that they're an actual DreamWorks staple. You know, like I I'm with Travis on that as well. Like the Shrek films were great in the beginning, and then they lost steam. I feel like How to Train Your Dragon really kind of filled in that void, and honestly it kind of gave it to a niche crowd as well, not just for kids but like really all ages. So that's the only thing I'm worried about, is that this show, they'll tone it down because it is a show. So like a lot of those themes that are like really mature things to talk about, and you know, about those indifferences and everything, I hope that they don't gut it too much. You know what I mean? Like, I know they're going to, but I hope it's not like going from Spyro to Skylanders. I hope it's not on that level.
DreamWorks.
What's wrong with you?
DreamWorks has a very good reputation for making family-oriented content, stuff that kids can enjoy and understand, but with enough deep meaning for the parents, adults, and older kids to enjoy as well.
Hey,
and
for those who have not seen the trailer to this, I'm going to put the link in the chat and share it out so everybody can get a chance to see it. Who hasn't?
That's a trend that I've seen in a lot of children's programming, not just with How to Train Your Dragon, but also Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous.
Yes.
And it's what I'm hoping to see from Star Trek, and what I think we're going to get from Star Trek Prodigy.
Speaking of the quality, so sorry, Travis touched on this about how he didn't get too much into Shrek. How to Train Your Dragon was DreamWorks' first successful trilogy. Shrek 2, my opinion, Shrek was flipping amazing, but Shrek 3 dropped it.
Oh yeah.
Kung Fu Panda. Kung Fu Panda 2 was great. Kung Fu Panda 3 dropped it. How to Train Your Dragon got better with each movie. So it is their first great successful trilogy. And yeah, they have a Kung Fu Panda show, sure. But there is a reason why we don't have a Shrek show. And now that How to Train Your Dragon has percolated in our minds enough, it's speaking to us, because I will say I was an adult when I first saw it, but it's like I'm growing up with it as I grew up with Toy Story. Toy Story was aimed at adults from Toy Story 3 and 4. How to Train Your Dragon is going to keep, of course, a child theme like Prodigy, but it's going to speak to the older fans. And the one way they did that right away, sorry, Ross, real quick. The one way they did that was the Cow Baby Dragon.
Well, the thing about How to Train Your Dragon that really sets it apart is that the first film was a coming-of-age story about a kid trying to become a man and learning how to grow with a companion and how to be himself in a community that was telling him you have to be this way. That's something that everyone can relate to. And each subsequent film built off that, with him continuing to grow up. And Shrek couldn't do that. Kung Fu Panda couldn't do that. So that's one thing that really set up How to Train Your Dragon for success. And hopefully we'll see that going forward. All right, let's power through these last couple topics for tonight. Who thinks we have too many streaming services?
Maybe, but I know how to manage mine, so.
So who's ready for a gaming-centric streaming service?
You got
As
Xbox.
in a streaming
Gamefly?
service.
You mean GameFly?
As in a gaming
Xbox.
service that produces game adaptation media.
Who is it?
It's called Binge. And as far as I can tell, it's an Australian company that's looking to expand worldwide and has secured the rights to not only a adaptation for Driver, but also System Shock.
Ooh.
Okay, we're talking now.
Okay.
It is being produced by Night Dive Studios, Stephen Kick, and Larry Cooperman. And right now it's currently in the pre-production stage. But the fact that they're adapting System Shock, that we might potentially see Shodan herself in live action, that interests me. Son, what do you think?
So, for those of you who don't know, Night Dive actually purchased the System Shock IP, which is what's allowed them to actually, by hand, I mean, they are doing it from scratch. They are remastering the original System Shock right now. And they show footage of it on their YouTube channel almost constantly as they're working on it.
Nice.
So them actually okaying this and being in production for a live action series is definitely something that's going to be interesting.
Yes, indeed. Travis, your thoughts?
I'm indifferent.
Raina?
I'm so damn excited. System Shock is a fucking gem, and despite its archaic controls, it's still just one of my favorite
fun
games of all
game.
time. And actually, just so you guys know, like I was always like a fan of medieval fantasy, like growing up, and I still love it now. But I hated sci-fi. I hated the aesthetic when I was a kid, and I remember playing System Shock for the first time when I was 13, and it's phenomenal. Like that world just really made me appreciate sci-fi aesthetic and horror aesthetic. Shonen is like just one of my favorite villains of all time. She's just deliciously evil. She taunts you at every point. She was GLaDOS before GLaDOS fucking existed. GLaDOS wishes she can be Shoden. Shoden is not only this force that always has eyes on you, but you just the knowing her presence is watching you and and judging your every move, and really it feels like you're a pawn in her game at that, just a speck, like, and she has no problem reminding you of that. I feel this show has the potential to be great, but I'm weary when I hear shows because I don't want them to stray too far from the source material. And a lot of the System Shock 1 stuff, if they're doing 1 and 2, there was a lot more that was covered in the novels and the things that were kind of like companion pieces, because at that time it was really difficult to weave in the story elements we've got now. But I feel like there's something right there if they do it right. Like, it's a very rich universe. It's very interesting. It's like you've got like the greed of Weyland Yutani, but you've also got the crazy, like, insane AI that's, you've got monsters. I feel like it really set up a lot of like Dead Space and a lot of other stuff that we have now that we take for granted. It really set the scene for that aesthetic, and I love it. I actually am more hopeful for this than the Last of Us TV show, because like the fucking Last of Us, they already, like, just by what they've shown, looks like a fucking bastardization of everything that's come out.
It looks. Right.
Thank you, Raina.
Raina, did you say GLaDOS?
I am a potato.
All right, Raul, what do you think?
Well, I think she is right, Raina, when she's talking about the System Shock being a seminal piece in gaming history. I also think that the setup for a BioShock TV show is just insanely possible. And as much as I love System Shock, BioShock is like a magnum opus to gaming. And I really believe that if this succeeds well, I don't believe the Last of Us TV show will do well, because all they're doing is copying
Walking Dead
zombie shows, basically, and the aesthetic of zombie shows. And I really don't want to talk about that. That's just so boring and so 10 years ago.
They had The Walking Dead. That was great for what it was. I mean, now they're trying to copy The Walking Dead. You can't copy that. The Walking Dead sucked. Sorry.
Justin, your thoughts on System Shock?
Absolutely on board, and I will be getting it as soon as it comes out. Yes, absolutely. Cannot wait.
Greg?
Don't have an opinion to offer. I mean, it sounds great, but I haven't played the games. But I mean, if everybody's excited for it. Anyway,
it's okay, Justin. These things can be corrected.
Yes, very easily.
I'll look into it, but yeah, I'm. Hey, if everybody's excited for it,
Greg, you should think about it. They're excellent games. They really stand the test of time.
And Greg, they're getting a remaster of 1 and 2 soon, so you will be able to play it on all modern platforms.
I haven't played any of these games either, so.
All right. In direct gaming news, this past week, Metroid Dread, the first 2D Metroid and the finale of the mainline Metroid series saga, is released, and it is one of the most highest grossing games, Metroid games, so far in the UK, since they're the only country that actually released sales data. But it's a decent metric for the rest of the world. So, have you gotten Metroid, and what do you think?
Not yet. It's on my list.
It's on the list to get. It's a must. I love Fusion, and I love just the horror aesthetic. Metroid does horror so good, and Nintendo never has the gall to really do it after Fusion, and it's really nice to see them kind of cover that hopelessness and that suffocation feeling that comes from it. And once again, we're going back into that sci-fi horror age, and I love it. It's wonderful, and I can't wait to buy it. I fully plan on getting that and the new Pokemon games after the move.
Yes.
Anybody else?
Sequel to Event Horizon when? That's all I have.
So,
that was a parallel universe.
I'm not going to be owning a Switch anytime soon. So I've been watching other people play it, and yeah, no, this game is I'd have to say Prime was the as far as like direct sequel stuff goes, Prime is like the only thing in the Metroid series that has felt like it was direct sequel after sequel. And now we have Dread, which feels like a direct sequel from Fusion. Because, I mean, it almost explicitly is. And, yeah, no, the interesting thing is Nintendo has said that this is the end of the Metroid saga. But I don't think it's the end of Samus, so keep an eye out.
I actually read the translated that come out every week. You guys probably know the site that translates the mangas over there in Japan, and I love the fucking Metroid one where Ridley actually talks and has a personality and is just straight up an aggressor. And I feel like there's more stories to tell because that's actually reaching its end saga as well, where Ridley actually finally bites the fucking dust permanently. I feel like we're going into a new age of Metroid. I feel like Nintendo's finally like, oh shit, these people are right. They want Metroid, so let's give it to them. And Fusion, I will argue, is the best Metroid game. I know that there are people that are like, well, Prime's a horror game. No, it's not. Fuck off. It's an isolation game. I feel like Fusion is just so good. The ambiance, the music, and for the GBA, like that game, I would pay $60 for a remaster of with modern day standards. I would.
The one thing that both Fusion and Dread have in common with the Prime series is Echoes. Echoes had that not only that isolation, but that suffocation and tension because of you having to travel back and forth between a light world and a dark world.
And an evil doppelganger.
Yeah, that'll
evil doppelgangers always help those scenarios.
A hopelessly powerful evil doppelganger that you can't kill.
Nintendo, if you're hearing this, give me Metroid Prime 4.
Metroid movie when?
Yeah, if they don't, I know, right? If they don't restart Metroid Prime 4 a fucking fourth time,
Metroid deserves its own movie or series.
At this point, I think given what they've done with Dread, considering they now have the technology, given the remaster that they made for Metroid 2, I think it was,
which was excellent,
which is what they used as a basis for Dread. I think that the reason they went back to the drawing board on Prime 4 was to start a new series with Samus after Dread.
I will say, if they're going to start doing niche things again, give us another Kid Icarus game. The one on the 3DS wasn't that bad. And seriously, for fuck's sake, give us an F-Zero game. How many times are you going to, like, tease something and not do something with it? Fuck you, Nintendo. Seriously, give us F-Zero.
Well, on the subject,
they're not the kings of doing that. I think it's, what is it, Ubisoft that's the king of doing that.
Oh my god! We don't talk about Ubisoft.
Where the fuck is Beyond Good and Evil 2? Thank you.
On the
keep
subject
teasing
of
that
Nintendo,
And I want a sequel of Jade Empire while they're at it.
on the subject of Nintendo and money.
Hey Ross, before we do that, we do have some more Metroid news.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, apparently was it Kotaku? Kotaku got really sexist this week. You know, Kotaku, who's always kind of doing this weird kind of women should be able to tell their stories thing. Literally wrote an article that boils down to, Samus, you should smile more.
The headline was that you don't have to be silent and stoic to be a badass.
And these are the same people who complain that Bayonetta it can't be a badass because she's too sexy.
Tell me you haven't played Metroid without saying you haven't played Metroid.
Right.
Anyway.
That's like people complaining about new Star Trek without having to watch new Star Trek.
On the subject of Nintendo and money.
Yeah.
In September, Nintendo announced that they will be bringing a virtual console for both the N64 and the Sega Genesis to Nintendo Online for an added fee. And that fee comes
everyone who was watching that, who knew their marketing, was like, they're not telling us what the price is. That's a bit sketchy.
That price is about $50 a month. $50 a year. Sorry, $50 a year.
Bad.
Are they tying that? So are they going to tie that into the normal online? So like, is it gonna
yeah.
Okay.
Well, the normal online is still about $20 a year.
Yeah, 20, like 30 extra bucks for this kind of thing is pushing it. Like, I mean, I have Switch Online. I don't use it that often, but like for the times I do, it's, there. But I mean, when you compare this to something like Xbox Game Pass or Game Pass Ultimate, whatever it's called, like there is far more value there. And I get that like Xbox's price at $15 a month adds up to, about 100 something a year. But when you consider just how much they are, like they are throwing at you for that price, like this is getting this service gets day one releases without you having to shell out $60 for that game or $70 now to experience that. Like for $15 a month, I can play Halo Infinite on the Series X if I had one, and like day one, like it's not like a waiting period. This service that Nintendo is giving you is saying like, hey, you remember this great title from the N64? If you want to play it on your Switch and maybe experience like another game at an unspecified time period or handful of games, like I don't know how much, like the point is the value just isn't there to justify $50.
So
you'll probably have to buy the game from them again.
So here are the games that are available. For the N64, you've got Dr. Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, Mario Tennis, Sin and Punishment, Star Fox 64, Super Mario 64, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Win-Back Covert Operations, and Yoshi Story. And for the Sega Genesis, Castlevania Bloodlines, Contra Hardcore, Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, Echo the Dolphin. Ooh.
That's a rare find.
Golden Axe, Gunstar Heroes, Musha, Phantasy Star 4, End of the Millennium, Rystar, Shining Force, Shinobi 3, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Streets of Rage 2, and Strider.
Now,
And
these are
if it
available to stream, or do we have to buy them again?
No.
It's like,
So these are games that are included in the Virtual Console if you have the subscription.
So
and if it works anything like the NES and SNES, you get new games added with nothing being cycled out every month or 2 months.
I'm surprised GoldenEye is not one of the main draws of N64.
That's probably tied up in licensing.
It's probably, I was going to say, it was probably a licensing problem.
If they're not gonna, so you can get this subscription and you're not paying to play the game extra, right? So you're not paying $50 plus $5 to download, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Then it's already going to be a better value than Xbox, because if they're going to keep putting out N64 games, there's because my friend Mike, there's 399 N64 games that can come out. It had me at Mario Kart, it had me at Legend of Zelda, it had me at Super Mario 64.
Dr. Mario,
Super Smash Brothers would be fun. I think that's personally for me. That's gonna be worth the value. I'm gonna get it, and okay, I'm gonna be asked a stupid question: is it out yet or not yet?
It is not out yet. It is supposed to be released
October 25th.
Okay, so 3 days.
Oh, very soon.
So
it also includes access to the Animal Crossing New Horizons Happy Home Paradise expansion.
That's
wait a minute. Okay, see, that's what I wanted to bring up. So that's something that's not being talked about, because I don't see anybody that even really realizes the shit that went down there. They introduced the whatever the hell you want to call it, virtual console or whatever the hell. And then that was it. They introduced the price for it and everything. The backlash started almost immediately, and it was 12 hours later that they said, you know what? We'll include this Animal Crossing DLC. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't even originally included.
Random, what were you going to say?
Nintendo thing to do, but for value, it's really not bad, because look at Game Pass. Hell, it includes freaking EA Play now. So if you get EA Play Pro, you get day one releases from Epic and EA. And I was playing Battlefield 2042 whenever it was in its beta. Anyone who had EA Play Pro had access to it. So, I'll have day one access to Battlefield 2042 through EA Pro.
I see that's where I have to disagree with Greg. At this point, the value for the money is in the other consoles, because they have a well-established backlog of games to choose from. Nintendo has what, 20 or 30 starting right now, with the promise of more to come later. And these are not, and like was mentioned, these aren't even new fucking titles. These are games that Nintendo probably should have been selling for the longest fucking time in their virtual console shops, starting on the Wii, and just never fucking did.
Raina?
I will say that I think that's the problem I have with it, is that they're not giving the Animal Crossing people an option to buy the DLC by itself. Because they may not even want the fucking online service. Mm-hmm. And it's Nintendo's way of making those people now have to buy that to get that DLC. And I think that is fucking dog shit. And I think that is just terrible business practice altogether. However, I think the missed opportunity here is what a lot of people are saying. You know what? Would have been a great niche console instead of the Genesis. How about the Sega Saturn? Yes. Because it has really good hidden gems, and nobody knows about the fucking Sega Saturn, which is really good. Deep Fear is a great horror game, that was an exclusive for that console. And the one thing I do like is that finally we're getting fucking online play again for the 64. I think that's great because you can only do that in emulation. And there's a lot of good, like Mario Kart 64 is still very good. It is still a fun time. If they bring back like old school Smash Bros, sadly that Smash Bros will work better online than our current one, and because of its age. However, I feel like people are kind of missing the point. I saw people were like, well, how else am I going to play Ocarina of Time on the go? The 3DS port is better. Why didn't they put that on the service? Like, if we've had remakes, replace those. But no, we don't want to do that. And I know that they were like, well, enhancements will be made. Dude, there's games on the SNES that they still haven't patched that I can still do bullshit glitches that I could do way back in the 90s. So don't expect Nintendo to put that extra effort in.
So I'm sorry for interrupting, Arena, but that's the question I'm having at this point. Is like, are we getting like the original versions of the N64 games? Like, are we getting the non-Master Quest version of Ocarina of Time?
No, that's gonna have the Master Quest with it, and they did specifically say on the announcement that game has been patched. That it's gonna be the one game that's patched on the whole thing that has fixes. Like, but that's the thing with Nintendo, though. I don't want them to do that because they break everything they touch when they touch their old properties. Why do you guys think like it's easier for them to remake something than actually fix something? Because they just are incompetent in their old material, very much so. Like, even with, just to give you guys an idea, those duplication glitches and shit still work in the old Pokemon games in BC. Like, every glitch you could think of is still. I don't believe Nintendo when they're like, we're going to patch the shit out of old games. You're lying. And the only ones you're going to patch are the ones you can play online, and that is guaranteed. And even then, I bet you, and here's my prediction. Monday will come around. People will be trying to play these games online. They will not work as promised. And Nintendo, after they've gotten everyone's subscription money, they'll give it like 3 days. It'll be a delayed response when they've gotten everyone's money. And they'll say, oh, I'm sorry. We didn't know what happened. We've got to work on it. We're gonna patch it and fix it. But they got your money now. So it doesn't matter. And I do believe that's going to happen. Mark my words.
All right.
Let's still have all your fucking money.
All right, let's move on to our final topics. Son, any updates on the Actalist?
Oh God.
Oh boy.
Oh shit.
Oh boy.
So I didn't copy this down, but so they've officially renamed Jesse McCree this week. He's now called Cole Cassidy, which, for any of you who are wrestling fans, you'll know Cole Cassidy is a heel. So there's that. So I can never not see Jesse McCree in fucking tights. So there you go. Secondly, we just found out this week that the DFEH might have just shot themselves in the fucking foot.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know how the EEOC settled their lawsuit with Activision Blizzard for a paltry $18 million, right?
Yeah.
Well, that settlement also included Activision Blizzard's ability to then, from that suit, destroy that evidence, to rid themselves of that evidence. And so the DFEH immediately filed a resolution to halt that part of the settlement. Because I mean, a lot of their stuff hinges on not only hinges on the personal testimony of people coming forward with their own, with those people's own evidence. Any good lawsuit is going to want the company's own evidence to back up those claims or expose those claims, right? Well, now if they're allowed to destroy that evidence before the DFEH lawsuit goes through, well, shit's going to go down. Well, come to find out, a couple of lawyers who were on the case for the DFEH were working at the EEOC and started the ball rolling on the EEOC investigation, but then left the EEOC to work at the DFEH, and then started the DFEH lawsuit when those people started coming forward. And so the DFEH basically filed an appeal, or the EEOC basically filed an appeal against the DFEH saying, you guys are in the middle of a conflict of interest because your lawyers worked for us. And so yeah, at this point, all the legal stuff is pretty murky, but basically it looks like the EEOC agreement is going to go through pretty much uncontested, which means Activision Blizzard will then be able to destroy evidence.
Yikes.
It sounds about typical for, Activision. Really sad, but
I don't have anything to comment on the lawsuit, but I will say that I watched the video today. Like, I don't really like Asmongold as a Twitch streamer. Like, I don't really like his. However, I loved listening to his interview with a guy that's on like one of the lowest population servers. Like, they're pulling like 24-man raids with 9 people.
Damn.
Because they just cannot get people on the server, and Blizzard's so lazy they don't merge those low population. It is sad. It's like a third world country in WoW right now. Like, people going from server to server trying to find like that perfect group, and there's actual servers that haven't completed some of the first raids. Like, their max level can't do anything, and they're relying on each other to create an economy. Like, they're forcefully like farming their own shit to make an economy just to keep these like servers still going and encourage new players to come in. It's so sad. Like, it's this horrible reality that Blizzard has like just, they're gone. Like, who we know, like, I feel the same way about BioWare. I loved BioWare games back in the day, but that is not the same company they are, and it's not the same talent they have anymore. And I feel like Blizzard, I hate that I didn't see how bad things were before, because the writing was always on the wall looking back in hindsight with how they acted and talked. And I think that a lot of us were just blind by that fate. I was a WoW player for
we didn't know what to look for.
Yeah. We were young and naive. I mean, a lot of us, we all played WoW. I was addicted to WoW for the longest time until I got burnt out of the game. So, yeah, it is what we see the things and we don't catch what it is, but now that we're older, we all realize, oh shit, okay, well, yeah,
Well,
I mean,
I was going to say real quickly that Raina is absolutely right when she says that the talent is no longer there. They have literally left and formed their own companies, and some of the exciting things. Yes, Stefan. It was a terrible.
Agreed.
It was like this before Activision.
Exactly.
Yes, it was the diaspora of their talent was starting to happen before Activision.
More than that, the patterns of behavior was there when Blizzard was founded. The acts that people are suing them for were perpetrated by if not performed by some of the founding members, but allowed by some of the former founding members. This is something that is endemic to Blizzard and can't be separated from.
Bad culture spreads like cancer. And in a company that is so segregated from information and just raw facts of their own industry, Blizzard has shown what bad culture does to a company.
All right, let's wrap things up and end on a bit of a higher note. Now that we've gotten through the dourness of Lawsuits.
The only
what are we watching?
Most looked forward thing that other than Greg's dismissal of Vortex.
All right, Justin, what are you watching this week?
Well, Titans season 3 came to an end this week with a hell of a conclusion. I won't spoil it for most, but yeah, they really did a good job. They did ended on cliffhanger. They wrapped everything up all nice and cozy. We got reintroduced to Tim Drake, which is going to be coming in the next season. Bruce Wayne that they have for the DC shows is amazing and perfect for the older Bruce Wayne, comparable to Ben Affleck, I would say. Maybe not exact, but for what it is, it's all right. Yeah, it's quite enjoyable. Let's see. That's pretty much been it. I haven't really watched anything else. We didn't have any Star Trek this week. We, of course, watched Dune. We're going to be reviewing that next week, folks, because, some people here have lives and they haven't been able to watch it yet. Mainly the person
Shame
that
on
still
you.
has yet to watch Lucifer.
Ouch.
For this season. And it's been out for how long now, Greg?
Over a month.
Yes. We'll forgive him.
You're
for
hitting
now.
the eyebrows of doom.
I know. Well, I mean, you didn't say it, so you knew somebody had to bring it up.
You could describe the situation as almost hellish.
Yes.
Oh my God, Ralph.
And I have no children. So that joke comes straight from the heart.
And we have sufficiently broken Ross.
Greg, what are you watching
I'll
this
just
week?
go ahead and eject myself now.
I haven't watched too much new. Enjoying Nathan Fillion's show, The Rookie, on Hulu. But one show I was glad to see one of my favorite all-time political satires finally make his return to television. The Problem with Jon Stewart on Apple is the show we needed 10 years ago before he left the Daily Show. It's back to his form. I love Jon Stewart. He can do no wrong. And his new show, he does not pull punches. The only difference between this show and what he did on Comedy Central is he could drop the F-bomb without being bleeped now. Other than that,
where's this at?
Apple TV.
See, I've been thinking about it because I want to watch Foundation on Apple TV because that show looks amazing.
We're looking at Leia and I are going to start Foundation and the new show Invasion. But my favorite show is currently The Problem with Jon Stewart, and it's new episodes every 2 weeks, so he's not doing like every week or every day. It's every 2 weeks. But yeah, watching The Rookie with Nathan Fillion, The Problem with Jon Stewart.
Awesome.
Sweet. Thank you, Greg. Son, what do you watch this week?
So, forgive me for just a moment. This week, I probably experienced hype for the first time in forever. And so it's probably going to be it's going to be the only thing that's going to give me hype, period. So for those of you who know the name Concerned Ape, who is a game creator, you know of a game called Stardew Valley, right? So, since the explosion of Stardew Valley, Concerned Ape was able to hire a bunch of dev staff for updating Stardew Valley, which is why it's received the many updates that it has received. And with that development studio, he has now released a trailer for a new game that's coming out, Haunted Chocolatier. And for the moment, the art style and everything is very, very similar. So I'm wondering if they're placeholders for the moment. It is very similar to Stardew Valley, but yeah, it's more of the monster slaying aspect of Stardew Valley than it is the farming aspect. And it looks absolutely fantastic. So there was that. other than that, this week, Lore Reloaded dropped probably the most important video ever, and that was the untold history and heroism of one Reginald Barkley.
Good old Barkley. Yep.
And so not only does he discuss the history of Barkley, he kind of gets into this space of where it almost feels like he's calling the Federation absolutely incompetent when it comes to the mentally disabled, and he's not entirely wrong.
Yeah.
So,
well, you look at how Barkley was treated by members of the crew, the Starfleet's absolute ignorance of any PTSD suffered by Captain Picard, and many other. Hydrate.
Meanwhile, you have crew members like Geordi LaForge. Just you have a physical medical problem. Shit, here's a fucking hair tie comb thing. Put it on your face. Now you can see, right? But yeah, no, I recommend everybody go and watch that to see just how much of an accomplishment it is for Barkley to do what he did despite the Federation being utterly fucking incompetent. So yeah, there's mine for the week.
Picard called him broccoli and Riker grinned.
Yep.
To be fair, Geordi tried to help him. Geordi was the one who was trying to help him.
Geordi only tried to help him because he was forced to.
He was ordered to.
It worked, kind of. Raul, what are you watching?
Thank you, son. Raul, how about you?
I am playing a few games right now. Let me call up my list.
Damn it, Raul! We said, what are you watching?
No, playing is included. Shut up.
I know.
No watching. Nothing has really struck me. Although I did see Dune, but two things that are very similar in concept, but they have vastly different takes. Is Swarm the City you are a vampire or an evil overlord that has been deposed, but you cannot be killed yourself. So you have been entombed in a grave. You wake up 3,000 years later, and guess what year it is? It's 1986. It's all big Reagan. It's big hair, and you want to conquer the world again because it's awful. But there's these things like these people in blue with guns. There's people in green with bigger guns. It's even worse, and nobody wants to accept your lordship over the undead, over their lives. So it's a type of reverse tower defense game for the people that know, and it's quite an interesting take on it. Very humorous, very interesting little graphics to make them. To make it simple on a very least level, very cubist, very what do you call it? Minecraft looking, but it's very interesting. Very interesting. Now another game that takes the swarm tactic to another level is Age of Darkness: Final Stand. This is a dark game. Very dark game. You're a fantasy lord of a small realm that's trying to establish yourself, and suddenly every night you get attacked by swarms of demons from another world. And the swarms are huge. They're not tiny little things. I counted and I counted up to 1,000 and gave up after one thing. I've been told that the game can handle up to 73,000 individual sprites swarming your city. And I'm thinking that's almost impossible to manage as an RTS game, but you can, and it's excellent. Age of Darkness: Final Stand, both indie games. Support your indie gamers.
Very sweet. Thank you, Raul. Right now, how about you?
I played a lot of.
Hang on, we got a bit of an echo.
Whoa! Who's echoing?
I hear it.
Is it on my end?
Test. Who's echo?
Test.
Justin. Not
All right. Seems like it's gone.
Okay.
All right. Right now.
That was weird. No, I played a lot of Final Fantasy because my speech course ended and like 3 of my other courses ended. I'm just in math now. That ends on the 2nd of December. So I played a lot of that. I switched from the samurai class to the dancer class, and holy shit, is that class just a boss slayer. I watched up to episode 5 of Discovery, and I was just like, I'm in this weird place with it because I don't dislike it. I feel like a lot of the criticisms towards the to Michael Burnham in the beginning especially are fucking overrated as shit because they literally explain every reason why she is the way she is. But I find it like meh, if that makes sense. Like I'm not excited for it, but I'm also like not hating it because there are interesting bits. But I'm just kind of like, yeah, I'm kind of ready to go back to DS9 for a while now because like it's not that I dislike Discovery. It's just like I really have no interest in where it's going. Like I find the Klingons the most interesting fucking thing in there, and it's like they do this big reveal in the beginning and then they just kind of slam on the fucking brakes. I do like the idea of war tech, like that they're researching like how to turn the tide, like that whole discussion of imagine being able to warp behind enemy lines and just drop a fucking beast that will kill everyone and then be gone before they even knew you showed up. Like I was like, damn, that's fucking awesome. But no, I've been living on Final Fantasy. Like I love this game to death, and honestly, it's good that kind of like I'm past my WoW days. Like I fully love this game. Like really, it's something like I feel like I'm spoiled by it because all those quality of life things that should have been in WoW like 10 years ago are in this game, and it's just it runs fluid, and the community is probably the best community I have ever known in any game, and I don't want to leave.
All right. Thank you, Rena. Travis and Lane.
So, a little bit of a story. So every week on Disney Roulette, we have a little thing. We put together this pot, and we bet on which movie we will be watching. Every week, we put a little dollar into a jar and say, like, all right, I think next week we're gonna watch Beauty and the Beast or Aladdin.
So someone finally won the pot, right?
Yep.
Who won the pot? You won the pot? Sweet.
I bet that we would be watching Bolt. And not last week, but the week before, we watched Bolt. And I won about $120 that night. And I was just like, we were very excited to count out the money because like we've been cramming it into this like little jar, which was like getting to the point, like it was getting so full to the point where it was like, guys, we got to find something else to put this money in because we're starting to pop back up again. But like, it was very much like, oh god, like how are we gonna get this thing? Because like the lid was like tight, like it was glued on basically to the point where we couldn't get it open. And so my friend actually pretty much like got an exo blade and just sliced the bottom of the jar open, and we got the money out that way. But yeah, I won about $120 after a lucky guess on Bolt. And so we started the pot up again. We added a lot more movies to the mix now. And this last week, after watching Bolt, which is one of my personal favorite of the newer Disney movies, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's about a dog who thinks he has superpowers. It's basically like Disney's take on the Truman Show, only with dogs and superheroes, and it's awesome. But after like last week, we actually everybody seemed to like this movie. I have a like-hate relationship with it. We pulled Flubber, and like it's an entertaining movie, but good God, like
which Flubber?
Where it goes in terms of the story and characters, I just kind of hated, because like I get that the central character is absent-minded, but it's like to a degree where it's like, are we fucking serious right now? Like in the movie, he misses his wedding 3 times, and his fiance decides, you know what? No, we're not getting married because you fucking missed the wedding 3 fucking times. And the story happens, and Robin Williams' character, you know, wins her back, and they do get married. But at the end of the fucking movie, he still doesn't make it to the wedding. In fact, he's in his basement doing a fucking experiment, and like she instead kisses the screen instead of the like him. It's like, that's not how.
I mean, to be fair,
you couldn't like stop working on your experiment for a fucking day.
I mean, to be fair, that's literally the world right now. Marriages by Zoom call and all that kind of shit.
Well, this isn't
It was pretty pathetic. I know. It's pretty pathetic.
It's just like, I'm just sitting here thinking, like, what does this woman see in this asshole who is not willing to stop working to get fucking married? Like he says in the movie, like, I'm not absent-minded because I'm selfish or, you know, inconsiderate. I'm absent-minded because I'm in love with Sarah or whatever her name was. And I'm just sitting here thinking, yeah, that's bullshit.
Dude's got a very severe case of ADHD.
That's an insult to people who have ADHD. I have ADHD. Like
I have ADHD, and I don't find it insulting.
Like it's just so. Like the movie has its times where I actually did kind of laugh. Like it's got its entertaining moments. Like I actually kind of found that the villain of the film is like not subtle at all and just being a villain. Like he's just like, yeah, I intend. Like he straight up tells like the main character, like, I intend to steal your fiance and make her my wife. And it's basically the guy who played Shooter McGavin from Happy Gilmore, and he's just so very charming and how delightfully evil he is, or how dickish he is. But yeah, Flubber, they like everybody else seemed to like it. I don't think it's aged that well, but that's just me.
I actually have an issue with Flubber because it's essentially the same movie as Sergeant Bilko.
I've never seen it.
The exact same story, except it's an army sergeant who is a serial gambler and runs gambling rings all over military bases. It's a comedy, but he's in charge of the motor pool, and he has to come up with a solution for the hover tank issue. Otherwise, the base gets shut down, and he gets transferred to Antarctica.
If you want to watch a good version of Flubber, watch the original film of Flubber.
It's the same thing. It's the same story. There's a lieutenant that he wronged in the past that wants to steal his girlfriend and is going to do it by getting him mixed up in a bunch of schemes. So he has to scheme to get over his schemes. And he keeps missing weddings too.
Jesus, this woman must be the catch if everyone's doing this shit. What the fuck?
Thank you, Travis. As for me, I've been able to watch too much this week. My usual round of YouTube stuff, and we've already said the Lucifer thing, so there's no need to bring it up.
Lucifer.
Shut the hell up, Justin.
Lucifer.
That said, I actually did rewatch something this week. Hell of a Boss, an animated web series by Visipop It's a really fun. I love adult animation like that, and I really wish there was more examples of it out there. But in addition to that, I've also gotten back into streaming this past week. Yesterday, in fact, I was streaming Dune 2K and had a lot of fun with that. And I've been doing some more hobby painting where I painted up this guy and repainting a bunch of my original Necron warriors to match my more current schemes.
Ross will now understand 90% of my references because I reference Hell of a Boss. You could ask Travis like
I've watched Hell of a Boss. Raina, I was rewatching it. I've seen it before.
You did watch it before. Oh, okay.
Yes. Son and I have been going back and forth on the series for a while.
I love it.
Apparently, there's a new one coming out called Murder Drones.
Ooh.
I can pay
Busy Pop
you.
stuff is great. It's just
Pay
awesome.
me what? Money. Done.
When are we getting Has Been Hotel? Because that's what sold me on this stuff.
Whenever the hell the studio that bought it decides to finish making it.
Finish making it, damn it.
You know what? True thing. Like, I love Hell of a Boss. I have never seen Has Been.
Well, it's only the pilot that's out.
Oh, okay. I'll
so
have to watch it.
You haven't seen it because it's not out yet. But damn it, I need more Radio Demon. I need more Alistair.
I don't know why, but now that I'm realizing it, I've never seen Ross angry. I just picture just Ross acting like Blitz every time he's angry.
I've seen him angry.
I've seen him angry.
It's a little more serious than Blitz when I'm angry, yeah. All right. Well, that will bring our show to an end. Thank you all so much for watching, hanging out, and interacting with us tonight. It is always a delight and a pleasure to share in our geeky musings with all of you. Hope you have a fantastic weekend. Son, if you would please.
Remember, sweeties, you are loved and appreciated by just your being you.
But Ross, where can you find everybody?
We don't need to go through that.
Justin is at twitch.tv/Commander Sepper. Greg is at
Twitch.tv/Mongoose Gaming 88.
Mongoose Gaming 88. Sunseal, twitch.tv/Sunseal. Travis and Lane can be found wherever the hell they're hanging out any particular day. Raina can be found at Raina Wolf. And Raul, I don't know if you have a social media presence or not.
No.
And of course, me, Live Love Play.
Raul's in the metaverse.
Ross
Play
got
us
it.
out already. I'm tired.
Until next time, remember to live, to love, and to play every day. Justin, play us out.